Radio Network.
Working too hard to give you a heart attack.
You want to become good? Work. Playing at Sweet 16s, parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs.
First record I remember buying was Time Out by Dave Brubeck.
Flabbergasted by that album, how good that was. You know the song Wipeout? I just adapted it to the piano.
The Billy Joel Channel is back on Sirius XM for a limited time. Channel 79 and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under Review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Yes guy, no guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, drivers and passengers, just because Josh Cloak is here, we're going to play Yes Guy, No Guy. Are you all set?
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
It is,
or
isn't
about
it?
me, guy.
It is.
Wow. I'm just an awe guy.
It hurts. Going to have to cut back on the sugar the rest of the night. Yes Guy, No Guy number 1.
Really stepped up. Philippe Myers is a player that's really stepped up. I could go on and on, but those two players come to mind. So, yeah, anytime you have injuries, but you're not necessarily talking about how much the injuries are hurting the team. The only one I would quantify that with so far is, and I'm curious to see how it shakes out tonight, but Jake McCabe's injury absence could threaten to be just as hurtful an injury as like an Austin Matthews, right? So, when you think about the way that Craig Berube plays and wants his team to play, Jake McCabe is a real linchpin there. So I'm going to say yes, Guy, with an asterisk. Let's see how things go tonight.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Guy. Mitch Marner, arguably the team's MVP this season. This is not the yes guy, no guy, but let's start with that.
I would say yes guy anyway.
Has Mitch Marner, yes guy, no guy. Mitch Marner has shown you enough for a long-term contract extension tomorrow.
Absolutely, yes, Guy. I know most people would say wait till the playoffs, and I don't mind if they do, but just based on his play, it's a theory question. Yes, Guy, absolutely. There's just a lot of stuff that he showed, especially when Austin Matthews wasn't there. Impressed, quite impressed.
I mean, I guess, and I've seen a lot of people say this, but like, what else can you do? Like, if you get rid of him, where are you getting another player like him? Where are you getting the production like him?
And you know what the line would be? And because the market's changed, this is no longer relevant. Well, you can get 2 guys for that price. But no, you can't anymore. Because that used to be a $5.5 million player.
Right.
Those guys really don't exist anymore under the new economics.
Yeah, no, it would be really difficult, honestly, Guy.
Yeah, those guys are now $8 million a season. That used to be 5.5. Yes, Guy, no guy number 2 from here.
All right.
Max Pacioretty could be a dominant force for the Leafs in a playoff series.
I'm going to say no, Guy, and that's not because I'm not a Max Pacioretty guy. The word dominant is troublesome there for me. You have to really, really rise above in the playoffs. Has he been a force physically?
Yes.
Right? And yes. And what's really impressed me the most about Max Pacioretty is, and I wrote this in the midseason report cards, anybody who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks should watch Max Pacioretty, because he's not necessarily reinventing his game, but he's adding some incredible tools that he didn't necessarily show throughout his career. But it's a long season.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting on in age.
Yeah.
They don't need him to be dominant, right?
No,
they need him to be a really good support third-line player.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go no, Guy. I'm a Max Pacioretty guy. I like what he brings, but dominance is reserved for the greats.
Yeah, probably the wrong wording there. But what I will say is, because he can deliver the hit and gets away with it, which is remarkable, if you transpose one of those hits into a playoff series, you've got a turning point.
Yes, Guy, no, Guy. Number 2 for me. If the Leafs had added Chris Tanev, the Chris Tanev that we see right now for the Maple Leafs, if they had added him 2 years ago, they would have gone on a very deep playoff run.
Oh, so 2 years ago is the year they got... No, because they ran into Florida in the second round. I'm going to say no, Guy, because that year when they beat Tampa, they didn't look as good as the year before when they lost to Tampa. So they had to go into the bag of tricks to get through that.
Right.
So I'm going to say no, Guy.
How can you not watch him and think that they would have been a remarkably different team? When Chris Tanev is on the ice,
he would have done a lot for them, but the rest of the team wasn't there.
He's very much, to me, a player that signifies rising tides lift all boats, right?
Yeah.
He allows, when he's at his best, there is all the fires in their own end are put out, right? And that allows your offensive players to be able to focus on playing offensively and not have to, come back to support in the way that they might have in the past. They didn't have that anchor, that rock. And Chris Tanev doesn't get talked about in this league enough. In terms of I know he's not like a prototypical number 1 like Cale Makar or a guy we're going to see a lot of tonight, Quinn Hughes. But you would be hard-pressed to find a general manager in this league that doesn't want the Chris Tanev that we're seeing right now on their team.
He doesn't hurt you. My only point is that Florida team was so good, they just physically destroyed you. And the only reason they didn't win the Cup that year, in my opinion, was they hurt themselves. They got physically hurt. They didn't have much left when they got into the Stanley Cup final. I just don't, Tanev or not, I don't see any Leaf team the way that Leaf team was defeating Florida that year.
You know what? It's a cultural thing too, and we don't know a lot. We know some, but not a lot of what happens in the room. I've read a lot. We're talking about this Canucks team. I've read a lot of people close to the Canucks that have said, if Chris Tanev was still on this Canucks team right now, this Miller-Pettersson thing would have been extinguished long ago.
Wow,
we throw around terms like character guy, but that's Chris Tanev, right? He has that warrior captain written all over him, and he's a guy that makes sure your room is in good shape. So it's as much off ice as it is on ice. I've just been so impressed by what he's brought in, and I really think it's one of the... We know that they've wanted to get him in the past. It's a big what if for me.
Oh, I think it is. Look, when you watch him play, you realize that what's going to happen defenseman out there is not going to be hurtful. He's going to do the right thing, and he's going to add to the Leafs getting out of their zone. They're playing their zone this year is unprecedented for me for covering the Leafs. They've never looked like this. You'd have to go back to Pat Quinn or Pat Burns, and even the Pat Burns teams where they'd let you flail away from the outside and then clear it out. This is probably as good a defense as you're going to see.
Let's end there. You got another one for me, Guy?
Do I have another one? Yes, Guy, no Guy. And this is kind of a quirky one. Philippe Myers.
Quirky. I love it.
Philippe Myers is Simon Benoit.
Oh, Guy, that's very... wow, this is very high-level stuff here. I'm going to go no Guy. I think Simone Benoit still has another level. Simone Benoit showed us a level last year that he hasn't necessarily hit this year. Guess who else had a new child for the first time ahead of the season?
Really?
Simone Benoit. Right? And you're getting a lot of the... I'm a new dad defender.
Yeah.
Right? But...
Just before we go down to the new dad.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a lot tougher on new mom.
Well, that goes without saying.
Well, I know,
Why
but
are you
I have
sewering
to,
me like that?
I have to say that because
my wife might be listening, Guy.
Of course. Do I look stupid?
That goes without saying.
But nonetheless, you should still say it.
Yes, and now you're making for those at home in Radio Land, I'm going red in the face here.
That's right,
because I'm not acknowledging
somewhat the color of a red rose, I would say.
Oh, it's beautiful, Guy. So to get back to your fantastic question,
yes, Guy.
No, Philippe Myers is not Simone Benoit, Guy. I think Simone Benoit is a lot more physical. And I think the Leafs are going to need someone like that. I think Philippe Myers is playing good and confident hockey right now, but he's just such a simple player, right? And I think that's good. And I think he's playing well right now. Simone Benoit has another level of kind of offense that he hasn't showed yet this season. And I think he could towards the end of the season. Both are very prototypical Brad Tree-living defensemen. Yeah. And it really wouldn't surprise me if they add another type like him.
Oh, those guys are worth their weight in gold. And so Myers, for me, is, first of all, the signing, the 2-year extension is brilliant. All kinds of depth there. So all those little issues that we used to have with the blue line are non-existent now.
Last one for me. Yes, Guy, no Guy. Joseph Wall is your Game 1 playoff starter.
I'm going to say no Guy, just to be argumentative. To me, it's flip a coin. It doesn't really matter. As long as they're both healthy, it doesn't matter. You don't lose either way.
Both goaltenders this year have shown outstanding highs.
Yeah.
Like really, really outstanding highs. Neither have showed really, really drastic lows. So I think that supports your point.
Yeah.
Right? That, if you're getting that kind of outstanding goaltending, you feel like you can go to both. The Leafs haven't had that in the past.
No. When?
Right.
But
I think if you are thinking long term, giving Joseph Wall a playoff start, that's the kind of final stamp, because he's come in the last 2 years in the playoffs and he's played really, really well. This should be the year where the Leafs say, you are our guy, you are our guy of the future. You've shown it so far this year with your outstanding play. Let's go for it.
Well, certainly when you look at the contract situation, Stolarz is here for 2, and then we don't know, and Wall is expected to be here for a long time, with Hill to be chasing him at some point down the road. So we'll see what all that means. That was a very spirited session of Yes Guy, No Guy.
Let the record show that I'm the one that wanted to play it.
You did. I play it 7 times a week, and now number 8, and I thought I had some gusto left.
8 days a week.
Yeah. Oh, good song title.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so the Leafs against the Canucks getting set to start. We'll update things for you and get you set for the opening face-off next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Hey, hockey fans! Once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the Leafs here on TSI. Tonight, we've got the Philadelphia Flyers. It's Sunday night. We played last night against the Bruins and got it done on Hockey Night in Canada. Let's cheer them on loud and get it done tonight. Come on, we got to keep winning these games. I had to put on my Austin Matthews jersey because, that performance last night, amazing. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button down below. It helps bring more hockey fans here to the chat. As well, please share the link out. The amazing work that you guys have done over the last year of games here on Toronto Sports Insider is absolutely insane, and I can't thank you enough. So thank you for hitting the like button, and thank you for sharing it out. It really, really makes a difference. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in there.
Great start, but not enough in Carolina Thursday night. The winning streak is over. Tonight, the Canucks on an eastern swing hit town, and they only got in this afternoon due to travel and weather complications. So the instant question is, will the Canucks have the legs, or maybe the adrenaline kicks in? Either way, we have to ask if the Leafs will take care of their own business tonight. Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome to Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Josh Cloak from The Athletic reporting for duty. Joe Bowen and Jimmy Rouse standing by. The starting lineup is brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews centers Marner and Nyes. Tavares centers Nylander and Pacioretty. Domi between Robertson and McMahon. It'll be Dewar on the left side, Camp at center, Lorentz on the right side. The defensive pairings, Morgan Riley, Philippe Myers, OEL, Chris Tanev, and Simon Benoit and Connor Timmins, and Hildeby starts in goal. Josh, what do you make of that lineup?
I mean, Nick Robertson getting a goal the other night, that's the kind of, that's what you need. And you know what I noticed about Nick Robertson getting his goal? Muted celebration after.
Yeah.
Right? You remember when he scored in Tampa to really get the, get the monkey off his back?
Yeah.
And he screamed so loud we could hear it in the press box.
Yeah.
Right? This was more of a, I know I can score. I scored and I know that this is what I can do. Right? So I'm going to keep an eye on that third line, because Nick Robertson is the type to score in bunches. Bobby McMahon's been playing well as well. And I said it before, but that fourth line, for me, Connor Dewar is taking a real step. Steven Lorentz, he looks like a guy that's probably going to hang around here long term.
Yeah.
And David Kampf, after, he struggled to start. That fourth line is really coming into their own. They're handling tougher matchups. They're playing with a lot of pace, right? Steven Lorentz and Connor Dewar bring like a good mix of physicality and energy. That really suggests to me, come the trade deadline, I don't know if you need to add to that line. You need to add to your middle six, but that fourth line to me right now looks like a playoff-ready line. So, I mean, obviously it goes without saying, like, can the top line not go, minus $1 billion tonight? But, the bottom six has been playing really well, and they've got an opportunity here to keep it up.
I mean, it does have third line center, which whoever it is just going to add to the depth. I don't know what it costs them to bring in a third line center or who gets moved around, but it's a nice problem to have.
I think it's probably going to cost them more than we think. And I say that because, it's been telecast throughout the entire league that the Leafs need a third line center. Yeah. And when you're not dealing from a position of wealth and everybody knows what you need, you can drive the prices up. The Leafs don't have a first round pick this year.
Yeah.
Right? They have a second round pick. They really like Fraser Minton. I would be surprised if they moved him. They really like Easton Cowan. I know we talked about them a lot towards the deadline last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they move those two players. Then it gets really tricky, right? Because what else do you really have? If you acquire a center with term, and I'm talking 2 more years.
But that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
No, I think
really?
I think it's possible that they say this is
rental.
We can only get a rental, and I don't know who that is. But like a Scott McNaughton, for example, he would cost a lot more, right? So we'll see.
Yeah. I just always thought it would be term because it would sort of fit in with what they do with Tavares in the offseason, and it would sort of take them into the next 3 or 4 years. But I might be wrong on that.
I said Scott McNaughton. I was thinking of the dearly departed PR guy who left the organization. Yeah. Great PR guy. Scott Lawton, thank you very much. Yeah, look, I think at the deadline, players with term are obviously in demand and prices go up, and I just don't know if the Leafs are going to have enough to win that kind of bidding war.
Tonight's Coach's Comments is powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Score $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. Coach Berube on going with Hildeby against the Canucks.
Woolsey's played a lot, and I was just thinking ahead too with Dallas coming in, and I like Dennis's last game, and we mentor's trip, travel home, so that's why I went with Hildeby.
How receptive is Pacioretty when you have to scratch him, you bring him back?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, I think that conversation happened before, he was signed and everything, and situations might come up where maybe he's not going to play all the time, and he's at an age, it's older player, but he's very good about it. He's a good pro.
What have you seen from Ekman-Larsson and Tanev this season when they've been together?
Yeah, they've been good when they've been together. I think both are responsible defensively and have good sticks and kill plays low. And OEL, he's got a little more freedom to get up in the play and do his thing because he can get up in the play and make plays and get involved offensively. So they just, they're a good shutdown pair in my opinion, and they need to do a good job. And their guys tonight, they got some good players over there, so we're going to have to be aware of it and shut them down.
Do you see a big difference in Oliver when he's playing the left side as opposed to the right?
Well, it's easier for him for sure. It's easier for any defenseman. I mean, playing your offside is not an easy thing. He's done a good job for us in the offside, but definitely puck movement through the neutral zone and on breakouts is easier on your normal side for sure.
It looks like the experiment with the first unit power play is continuing. It's the sort of thing that you just want it working by the time the stretch run gets here. It's just see what.
Well, I think it's working. I think our percentage has gone up quite a bit from the start of the year. Now, listen, I told you guys before, I'm not opposed to always doing something different on it. And I went with 5 forwards. In the Philly game, we scored. We actually scored 2 when the clock was run out, and then we got scored on the other night, and I told you guys about that. 5 forwards is tricky, and teams are going to look at that and they're going to attack all the time on it. That's going to be their mindset, the penalty kill. And it's not that I don't like 5 forwards. They move the puck well in zone. They do some real good things. I don't like when it goes the other way. We're just going to keep trying new things, and I think which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to move people around and find new spots for them, and it frees up some guys a little bit more. So it's I've done this before. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Coach Berube, and I agree with him, it's not a bad thing. That's what the regular season is for, to get different looks, so you're not trying to find one in the playoffs. Let's talk, Josh, about the 5-forward power play. Where are you on that?
Don't love it right now because I think you need to get Morgan Rielly as many touches and as much production to get his confidence and his game back to where it needs to be. In the playoffs, it's a different story, but we talked a lot about Morgan Rielly. I'm thinking about him, and I'm thinking, how do I get his game back to where he wants it to be? Craig Berube was asked by some intrepid, handsome, bearded reporter in Philadelphia about Morgan Rielly, and Craig Berube
just
essentially.
How's your back? Because you're patting yourself in the back. Fire too much.
I could have been anybody on the road, guy. I don't know, guy. But, Craig Berube essentially said that, Morgan wants to be an offensive defenseman. He's learning how to do a little bit of both. They want him to be a 200-foot player. So while you're getting him to understand Craig Berube's system and those defensive responsibilities that perhaps he wasn't used to under previous coaches, Get him on the power play, get him his touches, get him utilizing his playmaking, which we know is there. And once those points start coming, a lot of players are similar. Once the points start coming, the confidence goes up, and you're able to do the other little things that you're being asked to do.
Well, look, the power play fires at 21%, 18th in the league, and I would just assume that it's going to be middle of the league because it just lacks clarity for me. There's a lot of linear passes as opposed to lateral passes, and there's no real shot that's being set up. It's almost like there's too much talent on it. Even when there are 5 forwards or when there aren't 5 forwards, it doesn't seem like a normal power play. And I don't know how 5 forwards solves that. And to me, it just adds to the problem.
Yeah, the power play can be better. In a pinch right now, I'd rather have Morgan Riley than Matt Nyes. That's kind of what it comes down to for me.
Although Matt Nyes would be net front presence in my power play.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with the power play, and I'm not saying anything new or revolutionary here, is that they've had this personnel for so long that other teams have been able, you don't have 8 games of tape to review. You have years of tape to review, years of tendencies to review, so it becomes easier to kind of lock them down. So I'm not opposed to, spreading things out on the power play. I'm really, really not, because the second power play lacks a bit of juice for me.
Yeah.
So I think Morgan Riley, keep him up there right now. But 5 forwards, not for me right now.
So let me put it this way. While they've had the same number of guys or the same people, they've also had 3 or 4 different assistant coaches try to tackle this thing, and it always seems to end up in the same spot, doesn't it?
So then why not mix the personnel up?
Exactly. See, I was setting you up there.
Oh, thanks, Guy.
Wow.
Thanks, Guy.
Wow.
Thank you, Guy.
Wait, let me adjust my invoice now. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, fantastic. I'm not opposed to that. I think that's something that, we're not there right now, right? The power play was really struggling earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of bomb you would want to detonate at this point is, splitting up Matthews and Marner, putting Nylander on the second, or whatever it ends up being, right? To have things a little bit more balanced. Because I think guys fall into a routine when they have played together for so long, and that's what I see sometimes with this power play.
Well, look, I mean, they got to do it without Matthews when he was injured, and so they do sort of know what that looks like. Obviously, we're going to let the noise take over here because the Leafs are now hitting the ice. Oh, yeah, it's a little loud in here. This is fun. The Canucks have been out for a while, and again, they had flight problems, they had weather problems, didn't really get to downtown to their hotel till 2 o'clock, which is kind of fascinating because I'm just assuming that they would check in at 2 and check out at 4:30. I don't know exactly what their flight plans are after the game. They have to go on to Winnipeg, but I don't think they're hanging around.
Winnipeg, that's a spot you want to get to right away.
Oh, Guy. Wow. All right, we'll step out. The opening face-off is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Tennis fans, Sirius XM is getting you ready for the first major of the year, the 2025 Australian Open, as Novak Djokovic looks to continue history, this time pairing up with his former rival, Andy Murray.
And he stands above all others at the Australian Open.
On the women's side, Iga Swiatek looks to silence the doubters after a PED suspension.
He's done it.
Dan Graca and Tracy Austin host the Australian Open Preview Show right now on the Sirius XM app. Just search Australian Open.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. 2 organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys get a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And yeah, and Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under Review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
First Up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
What a shot. Tennis hits different down under.
That is absolutely extraordinary.
So don't miss a moment. The Australian Open, January 11th to 26th on TSN and TSN Plus. Subscribe now.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream us on iHeartRadio, the TSN app, or on Apple CarPlay. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
The Leafs and the Vancouver Canucks collide at Scotiabank Arena on the anniversary of the last game played at Maple Leaf Gardens, just up the road a little bit from Scotiabank. And the starting lineup is brought to you by Molson, official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dennis Hildeby gets the call in goal, and we'll get Mr. Ralph's take on that in just a second. And his record at this point is 3-1-0 with a 3.23 goals against average, 8.92 save percentage. The Canucks played last night, so it will be Kevin Lankinen in goal for the Canucks, not Thatcher Demko, who lost in Carolina. And Lankinen is 15-7-6. Filling in for the injured Demko a lot this year, 2.60 and a 904 save percentage.
I like the thought of putting Hildeby in. I think there is concern, and maybe you saw it in Carolina on Thursday night, that you don't want to wear down Joseph Woll. And here's a pretty good opportunity for Hildeby on a Saturday night.
Shot goes into the glove of goaltender Lankinen.
But Hockey Night Canada, Saturday night, all-Canadian matchup. Pretty good place to be in, and Hildeby was very good in his last start here at home against Philadelphia.
Just thinking about that last night at the Gardens, how much fun that was. All of the Leaf alumni that were in attendance, and we've lost so many of them since then. As the Canucks win the draw. Hughes gets it up on the left wing. Launched into the Toronto zone, then by Jake DeBrusk around back of the net. Matthews waiting for it. The puck comes free, and it's banked back to the point. Myers into the middle of the ice with a shot, and he scores! the way the Leafs had hoped things would start.
Looks like Brock Besser, Joe, might have tipped it. He's the first one past the Canucks bench, so blanked last night in Carolina. Flight didn't get in until late. Yeah, so Hildeby, it looks like a bad goal before seeing the replay and the redirection by Besser to make it 1-0. But you would have thought the Leafs would be able to take advantage of Vancouver early on, but it's the Canucks that strike first in the first minute.
But the Leafs' big line was -17 the other night, and they are on the ice here for the opening goal of the game as well. Tanev working with Oliver Ekman-Larsson now as the puck comes down into the Toronto zone to the point. Susie with a shot. That is stopped, and Hildeby kind of looking around and now finds where it is, and it's going to be a face-off in the Toronto end.
Yeah, that wasn't as hard, but that was redirected as well. So Vancouver may be taking a page out of the Washington Capitals book. Get it to the points, get traffic in front.
I think that's the book every team has, to be honest with you. Whether they read it or not is another story.
But we've talked about it a lot. The Leafs do not score a lot of goals on point shots. Deflections, rebounds, screens.
Draw scrum by Toronto. Push to the wing, and now Nylander works to center. Tried to flip it in there for Pacioretty, but it was blocked. And the Canucks get it up on the far boards and out at center ice. An early 1-0 lead for Vancouver, and a long shot taken there by Höglander, and it is into the glove of Hildeby, and he will stop play and bring a face-off into the Toronto zone. And while we are thinking about the Gardens, one of the greats who played there and Stanley Cup winner, celebrating his 87th birthday yesterday, the Big M, Frank Mahovlich. Yes. Or, as Punchimlak used to say, Mahalovich.
And he spent a lot of time with his brother Peter Mahalovich.
Oh yeah, boy, they are a tandem, aren't they? And it's hard to believe they're brothers. I mean, size-wise, they're looking, personality-wise, they're night and day. They are a great tandem. Leafs send it down into the Vancouver zone. Hustling in there was Robertson, but couldn't come up with it. It's cleared back into the corner, hit the official, and now going around back of the net is Brisebois, and he'll get it up at center. And here the Canucks flipping it into the Leaf zone as Lekkerimäki guts it down into the Toronto corner. Brought out now by Benoit. A pass ahead for Camp. He gets it on the left wing side for Dewar. His shot, though, is going to be ramped off a stick of Hughes. And up into the screen it goes, and the puck is out of play. This is uncharted waters for the Canucks, who've not won the second game of a back-to-back this year.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're saying, boy, if you're a bet man, look at all these factors. And then you say they didn't get in until this morning. Actually at 12:30 to Pearson, because they couldn't get out of Carolina because of bad weather. You're saying, boy, this is all the elements are in the Leafs' favor.
But here's
and then you got to play the game.
Yeah, but here's the stat. This is the 5th back-to-back game they've had. The Maple Leafs have already had 10.
Yeah, I was trying to remember last night watching it how many they've got on the season.
Played ahead at center ice now and chipped in over the line by Lorenz. Centering pass! Camp is hooked to the ice, and there'll be a penalty here to Vancouver, and the Leafs will go to their first power play opportunity of the game.
Boy, what a carom. Steven Lorenz banking it off the right wing boards and then catching up to it, and Quinn Hughes is arguing the call. But David Kemp taken down. And who is it? It's Pius Suter is in the box.
Number 24. 2-minute minor, tripping.
Yeah, this, I can see from Vancouver's standpoint, this is kind of after the fact. The puck had already rolled off the stick of David Camp, and that might have been somewhat dramatically enhanced.
So the Leafs are on the power play. and have the puck. Nylander, centering pass, and a Matthews one-timer went off the side of the goal. Back of the net, trying to chip it out in front was Tavares and Marner, and it comes back now to Nylander. Nylander into the corner to Marner. Marner circles back out to the top of the circles. Looks to the cross-ice pass, doesn't make it. Give it back to Nylander. Cross-ice pass, and Matthews or Riley couldn't handle it. Riley loses it, and it is shot off the stick of Marner down into the Leafs zone. Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Leafs in across the line for Tavares. Tavares, the centering pass, and it was just behind Matthews. Matthews unable to get it now, and it's cleared back into center ice territory, and the Leafs have to go back. Minute 6 to go in the first power play as the Leafs try to work out of their own end. They gave up a shorthanded goal, their fourth, the other night, and then subsequently scored on the same power play. Marner working down the left wing boards, and into the corner it goes. Gets a return pass. Down low once more for Nylander. Nylander working out of the scrum. Backhands into the corner for Marner. He attacks the front of the net. Tried to flip it in front. The bouncing puck is cleared, and it's going to get out past Oliver Ekman-Larsson and down into the Toronto zone. Leafs start back up ice. Pacioretty couldn't get it into the zone, and then it's deflected up into the Toronto bench and out of play. And a face-off is going to come outside the Toronto blue line.
Well, not the start the Leafs were looking for, although would you not agree that maybe the first 13 minutes on Thursday night was their best start to a game?
Yes.
2-0 lead. Willie Nylander also hit a post, missed another breakaway. The Leafs easily could have been up 4 or 5. But that 2-0 lead disappeared, and they can never get it back.
Backhanded down into the Toronto end. OEL is in behind the goal, and he starts out. Pass up on the left wing for Max Domi. Rings the boards to get it around on the far side. Pacioretty drags it into the corner off his skate. That scrum continues as it's played back to the blue line. Chipped back in along the boards for McMahon. McMahon into the corner for Pacioretty. Pacioretty trying to protect the puck. Got it back along the boards. Now here's McMahon. He had Domi in front of the goal but couldn't get it to him. One of the Canucks lost his stick, and then an easy wrist shot is handled easily by Kevin Lankinen. He's not a very nice goalie. He just throws the puck on the ice and he makes the linesman bend over and pick it up. That's never a nice thing to do. No. You don't want to get on the bad side of the officials.
I used to pick it up out of the net and hand it to
That
him.
was nice of you.
Spent a lot of time with him.
You got to know them on a first-name basis?
Christmas cards.
Oh, nice.
Golf in the summer.
You know what? That's the type of guy you are.
I'd always stop by the bench in the second period. You know.
How you doing, Ralphie? Good.
Tired?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Canucks giving the puck away, then restoring it, and Hughes starts out of his own end. Got it ahead, deflected into the zone by Kanan. Around back of the net, it's cleared into the corner, cut off by Brock Besser. Back to the point for Myers. To his defense partner, Hughes. Cutting in on goal, and a centering pass. Oh, and they had the entire empty net, and it went off the heel of the stick and wide of the Leaf goal. Volleyball to center ice then by Steven Lorenz. Canucks back in their own zone. Hughes will stretch things out as the teams are changing. Long lead pass through center. Broken up by the Leafs as it bounces in towards the Toronto goal. Played up on the wing for Pacioretty. Can't get it ahead for Tavares. Now kicks it towards the blue line and does get it out as it is now knocked back in over the Toronto line. Leafs with control. Up ahead off Pacioretty. Down into Vancouver territory. 14 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Vancouver. Garland in across the line with a shot. Blocked it, but a rebound is somewhere in the goal crease and dug out of the goal crease and taken to safety by Nylander, who plays it down into Vancouver territory.
Well, at least they're starting the way they finished in Carolina, aren't they? Defensive zone coverage has been horrid.
Center ice area. Unable to move with it there was Bluger. Now the Leafs are able to bounce it down into Vancouver territory. Myers and Pettersson draw the assists on the goal by Besser to open the scoring here on the first shot of the game. Puck along the boards and a good hit there as Marner plays to an open wing. Drop pass and a drive off his body is swallowed up by Lankinen, and there's face-off coming in the Vancouver zone.
Aston Matthews does a nice job to get it back to Philip Meyer, but Meyer cannot deliver it to the net. One guy to beat, but couldn't get it through him as it skipped into the goal.
It is 1-0 Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Dr. Radio! From health and healing to breakthroughs in the lab, a world of expertise with understandable vocab. Doctors on the air with answers and care. Just a phone call away. They're always prepared. From the heart to the brain, every ache and pain, Dr. Radio's the name that's gonna keep you sane. Where science meets life, it's the perfect blend. From sunrise to night, the knowledge doesn't end.
Hey, Deborah, how are you doing? I'm doing better now.
Dr. Radio! Your health's best friend. Sirius XM Channel 110.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys get a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Face-off coming in the Vancouver zone. Canucks come in with a record of 18, 13, and 10. Ironically, they have a better road record at 11, 5, and 4 than their home record, which is 7, 8, and 6.
You know what? I mean, they're just kind of hanging on to a wild card spot right now in the Western Conference. And Vancouver and the Pittsburgh Penguins have played the most overtime games.
DeBrusque getting it in over the line, lost it. Pacioretty weaving back in over the line, stops it up, looks for a man in front, tried to make a flip pass to Nylander, who was driving down the slot, but it was intercepted. Played back into the Toronto zone by Vancouver. Coming out of the corners, Pettersson got in front and a shot went off of Riley, sticking over top of the goal. Morgan Riley playing it up ahead, off Pacioretty's stick. It'll come to center ice. Hughes goes back to recover the puck. The Hughes family, Americans by birth, but certainly raised and educated in their hockey here in Toronto. And all of them playing in the Greater Toronto Hockey League for a number of years. We're going to get no icing here. Wow. Bit of a benefit there for the Leafs if they can take advantage of it. Here's McMahon trying to send it in front of the net, but it's intercepted and chipped in over the line. It'll roll to Hildeby, and he'll scoop it aside and play it around back of the net for Chris Tanev. Tanev getting it ahead, and now here's Domi with some room now as he carries to the line, and in he's got a man heading to the front of the net, but it comes back to the blue line. Benoit works down into the corner, drops it off for Domi, who tried to center in front of the net for McMahon, but it was intercepted and played back out in center ice by the Canucks. Matthews dropping it for Benoit. Benoit couldn't get in over center ice, so it's back into the Toronto zone for Connor Timmins. Up ahead for Marner. He tried to chip it in. That was blocked. Marner couldn't steal the puck. Now Garland gets in over the line for Vancouver. dropping the puck off on the left wing. Myers' shot is deflecting, and it's gone up into the screen, out of play with 11:08 left to play here in the first period, and it is a 1-0 Vancouver lead.
Last night in Carolina, where they were shut out, the Canucks already with 7 shots on goal now, 7-4 the shot advantage over the Leafs. It was at exactly the 12:07 mark of the second period. Vancouver had their 6th shot on goal. So you would have thought the Leafs could have just kind of hunkered down and frustrated them some more.
Quinn Hughes' shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Nyes couldn't play it out into the corner. JT Miller to the far side, and a shot in front of the goal in the wall. Past Miller and out the back door without any damage. Shot into the Vancouver end now. Bouncing puck that Myers couldn't quite control. Stolen there now by Marner. Tried to drop it back for David Camp, but didn't get enough on it. And Vancouver has it down the left wing boards into the Toronto zone. DeBrusk playing it into the corner. DeBrusk then blocks a clearing attempt. The Leafs get it again in the near corner and send it out and down the ice. And icing will be called, and we will tell you that Garnet Rank and TJ Luxmore are the referees tonight in a Sudbury combination. Shander Alfonso, who played for the Sudbury Wolves, and David Brisebois, who is a Sudbury native, are the linesmen.
Well, Leafs should get a little favoritism then.
Well, I would think. Actually, I went down and slipped them a couple of bucks.
Well, I don't believe that for a number of reasons.
Well, it's illegal.
Well, one is you're too honest. Number 2.
Frugal, I think, is the word you're looking for, Mr. Rob, instead of cheap.
Just still thinking about it.
All right, shot on goal, stopped by Hildeby. Would be very much against the rules of this fine league. If you ever think that you could possibly do that. It's not the NBA, Played out into the center ice area. Well, that's one league that they got caught. Shot in, and Hildeby will knock it down, and Benoit gets it around back of the net. Long lead pass trying to find David Camp is going to turn into an icing, and so it'll be back into the Toronto zone with 9:41 left to go in the first period.
You're saying that the Vancouver Canucks hanging under the wild card spot right now in the Western Conference. 14 overtime games this season, and they're 4-10.
Wow.
And games that have gone to overtime. Only the Pittsburgh Penguins have equaled that mark. Pittsburgh is 6-8. But I mean, those are 10 huge bonus points left on the table.
Played to the far boards, chipped down to Vancouver territory. Backhanded out at center, and now on the left wing, Forbert will send it down into the Toronto zone. Timmins swept around the boards far side. It'll come to the blue line. Leafs are going to get it out at center ice. Tavares trying to work in over the line. He gets through the defense. He's in a goal! And the glove hand of Lankinen steals one from the Leafs assistant captain, John Tavares, splitting the defense. Best save of the period right there.
And the Leafs got a break because one of the defensemen fell from the Vancouver Canucks, and that left the lane for Tavares right down the middle of the ice to the net.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. Cameron Moore is the producer. Matt Cardadero is our board up. And Josh Lippa has a free pass to watch the hockey game. Which is nice. Right. We should start charging for that. We could make some money. You know what it costs to sit up here? I can tell you because my season seats are right below us. And I've never sat in them. My kids think they're great.
How much?
Especially the price. Yeah. $3.99, I believe, is draw one by the Canucks, who carry it back of the goal. Hughes tied up, knocked down there by Tavares. Battled, and Tavares couldn't get it out in front. Now Hughes knocks it into the corner. The pass into the slot area. Nylander knocked it in along the far boards. Able to get it to Pacioretty. Pacioretty back to the point. Tanev holds, then got a shot away, but it was deflected into the corner. Nylander trying to come out with it. Gets it back for Pacioretty. Pacioretty stumbles, now starts back of the goal on his backhand. Forehand pass in front, and Tavares couldn't get a shot away. It couldn't redirect it as it didn't reach him. Played by Vancouver into neutral ice. Tavares sends it high back into Vancouver territory. Canucks lead 1-0. They move from left to right on your radio dial with 8:15 left to play here in period number 1. Pass ahead at center. Brought in over the line and down into the corner by J.T. Miller. Played along the boards and up on the wing. And it is McMahon getting it ahead for Domi. Domi in across the line, drops now for Robertson. A little spinning move. And a backhand went off the side of the goal. Domi has it back of the net. Off to Robertson, back to Domi and around back of the goal. He goes far corner. Back to the point, D to the near side. Riley can't shoot it at the net. Gets it back to Robertson, back of the goal with it again. Robertson holding. Spins away from one check. Saucers it back now to Riley. Riley to the far side for Domi. Into the slot. Robertson! Stopped! It's in behind the goaltender.
Boy, but what a shift. That line put back together for tonight's game. McMahon, Domi, and Robertson. And it's eventually worked out to Nick Robertson in the slot. His shot gets under the right pad of Lankinen, but not enough momentum to get over the goal line as he falls back and is able to cover up on it. But that's the best shift of the period for the Leafs, easily.
Pettersson went down and tried to cover the puck, but he did not do it with his hand. A shot taken there by Marner, deflects wide of the goal. Matthews has it knocked off his stick, and it comes to center, and Timmins will go to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Timmins getting it back to OEL and up to the middle of the ice. It's deflected down into Vancouver territory. Shots are 9-6 favoring Vancouver. An errant pass here is going all the way down the ice. The linesman waves it off, even though I don't think Connor Timmins would have been able to get to it. Played back in over the line. Nylander unable to track it down. Hughes starts back with a pass up on the right side. Brought in now by Lekermaki along back in the net, trying to center. That didn't work out. Chipped ahead by Pacioretty. Played in over the line. Pacioretty and Tavares after Myers. Kept alive on the boards by Pacioretty, but now cleared high. And it's going to go the length of the ice, and an icing call coming here against Vancouver with 6:28 to go in the period. The first shot of the game resulted in the only scoring play we've had as Brock Besser deflects in a Myers point shot for a 1-0 lead.
It's on the Carolina game as well. Remember Stahl with the redirection of a point? Leafs, for whatever reason, just can't seem to get it past the first guy coming out, right? To even get it towards the net. It's the forward coming out. They always seems to get a shin pad on it, or skate, stick.
Hughes back of the Vancouver goal. Gives the puck away. Robertson in now for McMahon, and a shot from a sharp angle. And Lankinen is down to cover that up, and a face-off coming in the Vancouver end.
Lankinen's 5th appearance against the Leafs, career-wise, 0-3-1 in its previous 4. Goals against average, .353. Save percentage, .897. But he's looked sharp early here for Vancouver.
The Canucks, so much of their season was waiting for Thatcher Demko to get healthy. And now it's about off-ice things that are going on as far as the Canucks are concerned. Pass ahead off of Domi's stick, corralled by Vancouver. And an errant pass will result in an icing with 5 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the period, and a face-off back in Vancouver territory.
The thing is, I mean, I don't know if I'd ever gone a season where there wasn't a fight in practice during the course of the season.
Common.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden somebody's feelings are hurt, and everybody's...
The great thing back then was that, number one, there was no social media, and number two, nobody cared.
Here's Nylander with a shot, blocked away, rebound by Pacioretty, went just wide. And a centering pass, it comes back to the near side, and everybody went to the bar afterwards, and things were solved by you got the round, right? Everything was hunky-dory. Oh, God, yeah.
Unless you stayed too late, then you'd start all over again.
Shot back down into Vancouver territory. Breezeball back of the net, trying to pin it there. Lanky defenseman plays it into the corner, and it's chipped along and out for Garland, who will get to the red line and play it into the zone. JT Miller goes in there, but is taken off the puck there by Benoit. Leafs Tanev gives it back to Benoit behind the goal, and it is backhanded out at center. Now, initially, we were looking at Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson as being a tandem on the defense. That seems to have been changed early on here. Here's Camp in the far corner in the Vancouver end. Got it back to the point to Timmins, and the drive is deflected just wide of the Vancouver net. Play it up on the right side, and out comes Connor Garland to center, and it'll be played down into the Toronto end. Puck back to the goal, brought out into the slot area. And the Canucks getting a change going, and it's going to be assisted here by an offside at the Vancouver blue line. 4:29 to go in period number 1, 1-0 Vancouver. And we're going to go to a commercial break. 4:29. We're going to try this again. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on the SiriusXM app and talk about all the EPL drama on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. 2 organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
4:29 left to play here in the first period. 1-0 Vancouver.
The Leafs have come on a bit. Shots were 9-4 at one point for the Canucks. And the Leafs have pushed the Vancouver visitors here in the second half of the first period.
Nick Robertson has the best scoring chance for the Leafs, but nothing on the board. Myers. Rink-wide pass played into the Toronto zone. Hustling in after it was Jake DeBrusk. Comes back to the point. Fed off on the wing. Trying to look for DeBrusk as it goes down into the corner now with Pettersson chasing after it. Up on the wing, and Marner starts out for Toronto. A bank pass ahead looking for Nyes, but it didn't connect, and the Canucks are able to bring it back. Myers at center. Got it ahead. DeBrusk couldn't get it into the zone, but his line mate does. Carried down into the corner by Suter. Played in around back of the net. It'll come to the side of the goal, and the Leafs play it out in front of their own goal to Marner, who tips it ahead, and now Benoit has his pocket picked, and it's brought back in. Pettersson with a shot block. Rebound controlled by Marner, and he starts away. With him is McMahon. Marner just flips it in and peels to the bench. McMahon going back of the net. Came away with the puck in the far corner. Back of the goal for Domi. He's ridden off the disc, but Robertson gets to it. Robertson stops on a dime, leaves it there for Domi. Domi with a little more room. Can't send it to the front of the net. Got it back to Riley. His shot was wide of the goal, but now flipped high and out and down into Toronto territory. Boy, that'd be tough to see if that was onside, wouldn't it? The puck almost hit the score clock. I'm not sure they have a camera affixed that high to say, yeah, he was offside. Incidentally, the Leafs are 3 for 3 in video review this year.
Is that all?
Yep.
Just 3 for 3?
Yep.
I thought it'd be more than that.
I did too. I looked at that. Patrick Roy is something like 3 and 4. Brought out now by Toronto. To center ice, Riley on the left wing side for Tavares. Back to Riley, and he rings it off the goal post. And up into the screen, out of play.
Well, Morgan Riley started the rush. Crossed the line, dumped it to John Tavares with a backhand pass to the left wing boards, and Tavares threw it right back up the middle to Morgan Riley going to the net, and he rips it. Up and over the blocking arm of Lankinen, but off the crossbar and out of play.
Face off in the Vancouver zone to the right. Draw one, but it comes out over the line. Chip back in, and here's Tavares. Tripped up, going to be a penalty here to Myers. The Leafs will go to their second power play opportunity of the period, as Tavares was stepping around Myers, and down he went. Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
Well, both penalties are tripping, both take away scoring chances. This seemed almost like the stick was there before the skates, as Tavares tried to jump past the Vancouver defenseman. Or trying to look like he tried to jump over him. Tripped up.
Cross scrummed. And the Canucks get to it and clear it off the glass, and down the ice it goes. 2 minutes to go in the period. Leafs looking for the equalizer with the man advantage. Riley to center. Drops it for Nylander. Nylander through neutral ice, weaves to the left wing side, lost the handle on the puck. Going to be cleared by Vancouver. Sent the rest of the way by Bluger, and it'll be another rush here started by Morgan Riley. And at 27 in the power play. Drops it again, and Nylander will try it once more. A little more traffic as he hits the blue line. Tried to feed it in on the wing. Does. Swept around the boards by Matthews to Tavares. Tavares gets it back to the point, and Marner has it. Marner stretching things out. Goes back to the right side for Tavares. Tavares down into the corner for the captain. Back to the point to Riley. Now to Marner. A shot, and that deflected wide. Matthews again. Back to Riley. Riley to near side for Marner, who turns into the corner for Nylander. Nylander looks for a man into the corner, steps out, down low. Little touch pass by Marner, didn't connect. He gets to a loose puck in the far corner, though. Marner with it again. 2 points away from 700 as a Leaf. Marner to Matthews. Matthews in the corner, trying to feed it back, and does, and gets it to Morgan Riley with less than a minute to go in the period. Nylander gets his pass, top of the circle, still with it. Looking for a saucer, no, hangs on. Now sends it in front of the net. It bounces away, and it's cleared out and down the ice by Vancouver.
Great movement, but again, nothing to the net.
27 seconds left in the period, and now 10 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Domi. And across the line, far side, it comes back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with a shot. That was wide, and the Canucks get it out at center and have a potential 2-on-1, but just cleared into the Leaf zone then by Garland. Final 6 seconds ticking away here. Centering pass hits the back of the goal in the Toronto zone. Back to the point. Time will run out.
I don't recall if they had a shot on goal in the first power play, but did not have one on the second one. Like we said, great passing, all on the outside. But I think what scares you with it, Joe, there weren't even a lot of shot attempts.
No.
To try to get it through. And I remember hearing once where some coach had the rule that every third pass recipient,
someone had to shoot it.
It's going to the net on the third one. So you knew everybody was going to the net by the time that last pass was made. Either that or maybe Dolan McMahon-Roberts didn't get the first chance of the Leafs get another power play.
It is 9 apiece in the shots, 1-0 Vancouver. They scored on their very first shot. And that is where we stand after 20 minutes. And Jim Taddy coming along with our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Are you ready to thrive in 2025? Kickstart your personal upgrade on the Sirius.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs game. A big shout out to all of the insiders here in the chat and everybody that's watching here on YouTube with us while we listen to the Leafs game. The best call in the business, Mr. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. No better call ever, in my opinion. Thank you so much for being here every single night. And you are making a huge difference in our community with SickKids Hospital. The amount of donations that we are seeing in the football frenzy is absolutely insane. Thank you, Leafs fans, and thank you, Insiders. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go!
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this?
thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up!
Game on his stick! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And trailing the Canucks 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. TSN after 20 driven by Subaru. Get out in winter with a standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer. Book a test drive today. Jim Taddy and tonight Josh Cloak from The Athletic here to analyze what we saw. Clearly the first 10 minutes was the Canucks and the second 10 was the Leafs.
Yeah, we talked before the game about how it could go one of two ways. The Canucks could just come out, not overthink things, just play, run on adrenaline, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
Right? It feels to me, and I don't have any specific evidence to back this up, but it feels to me in Dennis Silderby's games this year, he always gives up first, second, or third shot. He gives up an early one.
Yeah.
He locks it down afterwards. That's a shot that he's probably got to save, especially from that distance. Maybe he was screened, but
deflection.
Right. So, the Leafs are kind of out of it early on, and not the start that they would have wanted. But that's something that I think if you're going to keep going to Hildeby, and I think you're going to have to, right? You're probably still a few weeks away from Anthony Stollart's coming back.
Right.
You got to figure out how he can make those first, 3 saves to really let himself settle into the game.
The one that bothered me was the actual first save after the goal where he didn't know where it was.
Right.
And so you're going, okay, so we're a minute in and there's one goal in and you don't know where the second one is. But then he did. So, and you know this better than anybody. They work on the player development side. So they're going to isolate that and help him with that.
Yeah, that's a mental thing, though, to me. To not be, necessarily locked in right away. Player development is one thing, but I think if you're Dennis Hildeby, there's probably a little bit more mental or change in mental preparation that needs to go into that, because you can't have that happen, and it seems to be happening quite often for him.
What you're going to like is in the last 10 minutes, there were at least 3, maybe 4 really good offensive plays that should have resulted in goals but did not. But the fact that the play was allowed to materialize the way it did tells you the Canucks are exploitable.
And who had, I think, the best chance goes off the crossbar, player we were talking about for a lot of the pregame. Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
Didn't look great on the power play.
No.
I was just talking to Ralphie, and Ralphie's going to be talking to everybody this intermission about the power play.
Yeah.
It just seems so static.
They're still searching, which is problematic, isn't it?
I don't know if you're searching. I think you've just read this book so many times, right? And there's just a lack of urgency, a lack of movement, a lack of aggression in the power play, right? This is not the barometer, but when you hear a Saturday night crowd begging them to shoot, and I'm not saying that's the answer, but it's just, to me, an indication that there's a little more urgency from the crowd around the power play than maybe those on the ice.
Well, I just think it speaks to what we all see in that, I keep saying just add some clarity to it, so have some sort of game plan. Look, we see all the other power plays, and even the most successful ones are, we just saw Washington not that long ago, and I always refer to this, Ovi's going to shoot the puck. Everybody on the ice knows that Ovi's going to shoot the puck, and they work it around until he can shoot it, and most of the time he scores. But that's the box knowing that it's going to go there, and they move the box around so it can go there. We don't see any of that trying to break down the box from the Leafs. We see a lot of linear passes and all stuff on the outside, but there's no attempt to move that box around, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so I don't know what the answer is right now. I think there's 2 things you have to consider. Maybe it's taking, that top unit that you have and moving guys literally around.
Just split it in half.
Well, that was my second point. But maybe you're moving guys around from the bumper out or whatever it is. Secondly, why not split things up? Just to try. At this point, try.
But really, isn't the issue you're going to have Matthews on one and Marner on the other, and that's the problem?
I don't know,
yeah.
right? And I don't know if they know either. But you're still early enough in the season that you can try things out.
Well, sure. They've done it with every other spot on the roster, but that.
And I'm not saying that you stick with it. And I'm sure if you were to split Matthews and Marner up on the power play and put one on PP1, one on PP2, it would seem unconventional. But at this point, you have tried what you have for way too long without proven consistent results.
So let me play devil's advocate. I mean, it fires at 21%. It's 18th in the league. Does it have to be in the top 10 for this team to go deep? Because, look, quite frankly, in a playoff series, your power play could suck and you can still get through.
No, I got to push back there. The difference in a few of those Tampa Bay series was the power play.
Okay.
Their power play was so bad against Tampa Bay, and if they had gotten 2-3 more goals, that could be the difference in a game. In a 7-game series, when 1 or 2 goals wins you a game, your power play does matter.
My attitude on it is if you have a really good power play, it absolutely alters the game because the other team doesn't want to take penalties. I think that's your grit right there. You're going to take a penalty. We're going to make you pay for it.
So I just think that it does matter in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of opportunities. When you do, you have to make the most of them. And they just feel like a team that basically, opposition penalty kills are not, afraid of them. They look like, opposition penalty kills look like they're aggressive enough to close down lanes, and then that's it, right? They don't, again,
right.
Ralphie was saying this, no real threat from the point, and I know that's contradictory to what I was saying before about keeping Morgan Riley on the power play. Maybe he moves to the second unit, but you have to do something here.
Yeah, we'll see if we're talking about this in the second intermission. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
NHLShop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
At last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
You may have heard on the news that visits to Ontario food banks are at an all-time high. To illustrate this, I have some dimes here. 1 dime represents 1 visit to a food bank. And these dimes represent visits by people you may even know. Now, here's how many more food bank visits there are every day. Alarming, isn't it? But you can help. Every dime you donate to Feed Ontario will help Feed Ontario support more than 1,200 food banks and hunger relief organizations. Please, give now at feedontariotogether.ca for the big change your pocket change can make.
This product may not be right for you. Read product label and follow directions.
Tired of thinning or receding hair? Try Hair Grow by New Nordic. Millions of men and women around the world trust Hair Grow. With its patented tocotrienol complex, the Hair Grow supplement is clinically proven to promote new hair growth and increase hair count in as little as 4 months. It's a new year and the perfect time for a new you. Start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available at Costco, Shoppers Drug Mart, Walmart, Loblaws, and London Drugs, or online at Amazon and newnordic.ca.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. 14 other games starting the second period. Chicago 2-0 over the Oilers. In the second period, early stages of Devils and Lightning tied at 1. Also in the second, Jackets 1-0 over the Blues. And in the first, it's the Capitals and Predators scoreless. End of the first, Jets 1-0 over the Avs. End of the first, Flyers 2-0 over the Ducks. And also after 20 minutes of play, Stars and Canadiens are scoreless. Earlier today, Boston 4-3 over the Panthers in overtime. Kraken got by the Sabres 6-2. Ottawa shuts out Pittsburgh 5-0. Getting set to start later tonight, it'll be the Islanders in Utah, Wild in San Jose against the Sharks, Kings in Calgary, and the Rangers in Vegas against the Golden Knights. In our game, 1-0 Vancouver with the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Mayo being let go?
It's no surprise. There's so many coaches now that are released after a year and a half. You need that shared vision between ownership and coaching and scouting, and that's when you can be successful. And I had that up until about the last 4 years in New England. And when you have that shared vision, you have a chance and you can get a lot done.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs trail 1-0 to the Vancouver Canucks after 20 minutes of play, 9 shots apiece in that first period. And the goal coming on a deflection by Brock Boeser as Myers let it go from the point. 15th of the season for Boeser. Patterson drawing the additional assist. 9 shots apiece, as we mentioned, in the first period.
And if this comes down to a 1-goal loss, you're going to be looking at those 2 power plays again as potential turning point. And even though they got the power play goal back in Carolina, the shorthanded goal was a killer after the Leafs had already blown a 2-goal lead. But the good thing is I tell you, the Domi, Robertson, McMahon line put back together for this game look like they are on here in the opening 20 minutes. And I wouldn't be surprised to get another power play, Joe. You see those 3 come out to start it.
Well, you have always been an amateur coach and a discerning eye towards talent and things that are going on. That's why you're the best color analysts in the NHL.
Well, my goal is to love myself half as much as you. love yourself. And I'm nowhere near there. I'm still self-loathing.
Well, you know what? That's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
I think. Face-off at center ice, and the puck is dropped. Leafs to the left, and the Canucks to the right. And Vancouver controls the face-off as it's chipped to the blue line, and David Camp gets it ahead off the stick of Steven Lorentz and into the offensive zone. A hit there by Connor Dewar up against the boards. Puck at the side of the goal. They jam at, wrap around attempt, try, but it comes back to the blue line. Timmins doesn't shoot it, trying to get an avenue, and when he did, the stick of Goaltender getting in the way and deflecting that up into the screen and out of play. Pontus Holmberg, Ryan Reeves, and Marshall Rafai are the scratches for the Maple Leafs this evening.
Now, who do you think is the best defenseman, Leaf defenseman, or maybe all round? Guys who can get it through on point shots.
As far as the Leafs are concerned?
Well, no, let's say anybody. And his Ray Bourque was outstanding.
Oh, no, yeah. At the point, there's a shot that deflected wide of the net. It comes to the side of the goal, and it is scooped up there by Lankinen and held. You know, that's hard. I mean, obviously, Orr was so good at that, too.
I've got one for you, though. Craig Hartsburg.
Yes.
Minnesota North
Yes,
Stars.
absolutely. He made Dino Cicerelli.
Yeah, and that was wrist shots,
yes.
Right? And Nick Lidstrom. We might as well talk about Cicerelli.
No, and exactly. Hartsburg never slapped the puck. He always wristed it. And Dino Cicerelli made an absolute living in front of the net for the Minnesota North Stars. Puck along the boards in the offensive zone for the Leafs, and Nyes couldn't get to it. And then it's stolen by Marner to Matthews, and the wrist shot is knocked down by Lankinen and then smothered. Good bit of work done there by first the Maple Leafs Nyes to pressure, and then Marner to steal, and then Matthews to get it away right from the dot to the right of Lankinen, but Kevin Lankinen hangs on.
Yeah, and I guess the reason I'm asking you is I'm being hypercritical of the Leafs defense unable to get it through, because you can remember the guys that were good at it.
Yep. Another shot from well out, gloved by Lankinen. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Not as many people block shots then either, because it hurt.
Not even.
The equipment wasn't nearly as good.
If you look at the save percentages back then, not even the goalies blocked.
Some ended up being broadcasters.
Not by choice.
Draw one by Toronto. Who was the Minnesota defenseman that had the great shin pads? There's a shot block. Rebound comes in front of the net. Back to the point it comes. Myers keeping it in. Works back to the far side. Centering pass comes back to Myers on the right point. He'll carry down into the corner. Taken in there by Garland. Back of the net now for Pacioretty. Pacioretty coming out of the corner. Looks to maybe drop and does for Nylander. Nylander stops up in the near corner. Still has it on his backhand. Tried to play it in front of the net. And it was knocked away. And Höglander getting it down into the Toronto end.
I think the Leafs, it's 9 straight shots they've had now. Craig Ludwig?
Yes,
that the name
that's the name. Those shin pads should have gone to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Pass in front for Myers, and his wrist shot deflects off a stick and goes wide. Domi after it in the corner with Myers, but can't come up with it. Vancouver starts back. And a hit there by Timmins takes down his man Di Giuseppe. And it's cleared into the screen and out of play. Di Giuseppe is the only Ontario-born player on the Vancouver Canucks.
Once again,
Toronto
thank you so.
Yeah, his shin pads, remember, they were goal pads, sort of that wide on a defenseman.
I think the, what was the stuffing? Cotton.
Cotton batting.
Cotton batting kept those companies in business.
Oh boy. Totally illegal. Goaltenders loved them. Off the boards, back into Vancouver territory it goes. Hughes running a bit of a screen there for Myers to get it up on the wing. Canucks get to red line, and they'll roll it down into the Toronto zone. Chipped along the boards for the defenseman Timmins. Rink wide pass for Domi. Flipped high to the line, but gloved there by the Canucks and sent back out at center ice. Now brought back in by McMahon because the Canucks brought it into the zone. He's chasing after Hughes. Hughes plays it up along the boards, kept alive and into the zone by Robertson, but he's headed to the bench as well as McMahon. And now the Canucks will stretch things out to get a change going for themselves. Myers up ahead, played down into the Toronto end, and it's an icing call. And so it's coming back into the Toronto zone. Mitch Marner, 698 career points in 619 games. He's trying to better a mark, and he will, because Darryl Sittler took 666 games to get 700 points. Matt Sundin took 703 games to get 700 points.
Yeah, for those of you that say let him go or trade him, or you ain't getting that back.
No.
That production.
No, you aren't. A wrist shot wide. Now Tanev brings it in around back of the net. Cycles it behind the goal for Nyes. Tried to play it back. Nyes against the boards for Marner to Matthews. Matthews coming out of the near corner. Can't shoot it. And when he did, it went off a leg and went wide. But Nyes has the rebound. Stops up in the corner. Works back again. Tried to find Marner. And it was intercepted, and the Canucks have launched it high down into the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson working with Tanev this time. And out he comes. Up on the right side, and Matthews to the line and in on the left wing. Weaves there and then sends it around the boards. Nyes is going to let it go to get it to the point to Myers. Myers sends it back behind the net. Paid back for Myers, but it's intercepted, and the Canucks get it out into the center ice area. Pettersson couldn't find it. Brought on now by Vancouver's Besser. Brock Besser, the goal scorer, gets it down into the Toronto end, and the Leafs come away with the loose puck, and Matthews has it around back of the goal, banking it ahead now for Nyes. Nyes has launched it high and wide of the Vancouver goal, and an icing call brings it back into the Toronto end.
Hey, better decisions than that. I mean, I know that you got a guy coming on you. You're 10 feet from the center ice line.
Take the extra stride, right?
Yep. More. I mean, if he ends up giving it away, you know, then we're going to be critical of that. But, boy, it's a long shift for the Matthews line.
Face off in the circle to the right. Won by Toronto. Fed over on the far side. Nyes couldn't get it out. Vancouver intercepts. Plays it back to the point. Hughes works into the corner with a pass. Trying to work it back as Höglander. It comes into the slot, and a wrist shot taken there by Garland went wide of the goal. Garland again has it knocked off his stick, stolen by the Leafs. Marner starting away. Marner through center. Matthews is just going to play it in. And a change of players coming here. I thought they might have tried to press that attack, to be honest with you. Play back down, but fatigue was starting to set in, which is too bad. Canucks back to the point. Myers, long shot in traffic, stopped by Hildeby, but a juicy rebound out in front. It comes back to the blue line again. Brisebois with a shot. Blockered away nicely there by Dennis Hildeby. Bank pass in center, deflects in off of Pacioretty into the offensive zone. Leafs in there with Nylander, but he can't get it away. And now Brisebois will play it high to center ice. Gloved and knocked down by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but by doing so, he gloved it ahead to a teammate. And since it was touched by Tavares, the glove pass will stop play.
Well, that point shot by Tyler Myers that got through is, I think it had to be about 7 or 8 minutes left the last time the Canucks had a shot on goal. 7 or 8 minutes left in the opening period. So the Leafs have controlled the play, but still trailing by one. They're one bad bounce or a power play goal against away from being in big trouble.
Face off right at center ice. Leafs fourth line out there now with Lorenz, Dewar, and Camp. Brought in on the wing, and a wrist shot deflects into the far corner. Chopped along the boards there by Sherwood, and now played back towards the blue line, and a shot is deflected into the corner again. And now the Leafs trying to tip it out. Will get it out at center ice. Bouncing puck, and it is controlled by Ekman-Larsson and Tanev. Getting it up ahead. Lorenz off a stick and into the offensive zone. Dewar into the forecheck, gets a pretty good hit in on Hughes. Puck kept in at the point by Toronto, but a stick breaks, and Lorenz has to head to the bench. And now here the Canucks with a chance. Sherwood taken to the boards efficiently by Myers, but the puck comes free, and a shot from a sharp angle is stopped by Hildeby. Around the boards, it's going to come all the way out and down the ice. And no icing here, says the linesman. A lot of debris over by the Leafs doorway to get to their bench. Elias Pettersson getting it ahead now. Besser starts back in his own zone off the stick of DeBrusk. DeBrusk has it taken away, and the Leafs regroup it in their own zone, and a pass ahead off Robertson into the offensive end. Goaltender out of the net. That big paddle got in the way a little bit there, and he almost coughed it up. Here the Leafs from a sharp angle, and a shot went high and wide. Trapped by Tanev at the right point. Fed back in long now to the blue line again. Kept in by the Leafs along the boards for McMahon. Along into the corner and back of the net. Carson Soucy for the Canucks gets it on the backhand and has launched it all the way down into the Toronto end. Canucks changing, Leafs trying to take advantage of it. And across the line it comes for Robertson. Robertson laying it into the corner for Bobby McMahon. Back to the point, no one there. Leafs were changing the defense, and it's all the way back into Toronto territory. 12:26 to play, second period, still 1-0 Vancouver. Myers, a pass ahead at center, broken up and brought back in by JT Miller, who works into the corner, had his pocket picked, and Nyes is just going to be able to play it out at center ice. Hughes for the Canucks circles back, got it up on the right side. Hooglander in across the line, works in around back of the net, overskated the puck. Morgan Rielly takes advantage and gets it now to Nyes. Nyes to the near wing, and out comes Myers as he'll dump it down into the zone. Back to the point it comes. Benoit's shot was 10 feet wide of the net. Kept alive now by Marner. Marner dropping off for Matthews. A little stutter step. Taken to the boards, but knocks his man down and comes away with the puck. And Marner gets it back to the point. A wrist shot! Taken there by Timmins. Went just wide. There's your wrist shot, Mr. Ralph, and it got through.
Well, Benoit's did too. He just missed the net by 15 feet.
Well, the crosshairs and accuracy is another aspect.
Maybe the most important one.
Well, you would think. Hughes back of the Vancouver net. A pass up on the left wing and brought in over the line, and a wrist shot taken by Lekermaki went high and wide. Then a shot stopped by Dennis Hildeby, comes back to the point, and a drive off a leg, goes caroming into the corner. Trying to dig it out is Bluger. Bluger comes to the point for Vancouver. Off a skate, and the Leafs have numbers. Through center ice is Nylander. Left wing side with Tavares to the near side, and a pass by Pacioretty. Looking for Tavares, was behind him. Brought back by Vancouver. Shot into the glove and knocked away by Hildeby, and the Leafs have it again. Dangerous rush that doesn't result in a shot on goal. Tanev stretching things out as the Leafs are trying to get a change. The pass deflects to the blue line. Robertson couldn't reach it. Vancouver are able to punch it down into the Toronto zone. Juleson goes in after it. Played back to the point. Long shot well wide of the Leaf goal. Comes to the near boards. Played into the corner, and Tanev trying to get there for Toronto is knocked down. Puck back along the wall. Tanev couldn't get to it. Centering pass comes off the stick and into the slot, and a wrist shot went off a leg and went wide. Tanev getting it ahead for Toronto to Robertson. Robertson is able to extricate himself from some areas and makes a nifty move to get it to center. Robertson in over the line to Domi, flipping it. Well, I'm not really sure what that idea was. He flipped it, and I'm sure he was thinking get it in front of the net. Instead, it was a very easy catch for Lankinen to make.
Yeah, I think he thought maybe Robertson was going to head right to the net. and maybe be able to knock it out of midair, but Robertson kind of pulled up on the higher slot.
Breaking the action, 1-0 Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Maple Leafs game. Now's the time in the show to find out where Leafs Nation is gathering from here on TSI, listening to the Leafs game, watching on TV, watching wherever you are, watching on YouTube, chatting it up, cheering our boys on. Let's go, Maple Leafs. Let's get the win tonight. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for letting us know where you're watching from, whether it's the United States, Canada, or all over the world. It's so much fun hanging out with you guys every single Maple Leafs game. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat.
Play videos. Malcolm gets his accent right with Babbel's speech recognition.
Sur le point.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Right now, go to babbel.com/radio to get 60% off. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 60% off.
Face-off is coming in the Vancouver zone.
Now, I know I brought this up to you earlier, but yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Gary Smith, the Vancouver Canucks goaltender, being named to the NHL All-Star Game. The first Canuck in franchise history. So that was 1975. Commonly known as Suitcase
Gary Smith. Yep.
Or to his friends, Axe.
Axe?
The Axe.
Oh.
Yep. There's a story to it.
All right, you're going to tell us?
Nope.
Oh, that's good. Shot down into the Toronto zone. But there are more Suitcase Gary Smith stories. Played ahead at center for Marner. Down the left wing, he stops up and pass into the slot. Went off his stick and comes to center. And Matthews goes back and finds Marner on the left wing. Marner in over the line, backhanding it around back of the goal. Chipped along the wall then by Hughes, and out at center ice it comes. His adventure trying to score a goal was always quite interesting. Maybe you can regale us with that.
That's why they made the rule where goalies couldn't cross the red line, was because of him.
Yeah. He's had a marvelous impact on the sport, hasn't he?
He was one of the greatest characters.
Oh, boy.
I believe he's still living down in San Diego with his son Marshall.
Ah, nice. Canucks with it, with a pass up ahead at center. Miller, left wing side, plays into the left wing corner, gets it handed back to him, then send it back of the goal, too far for Garland. Now around back of the net. Leafs get it up on the wing for Pacioretty. Pacioretty will play it out and down the ice. And an icing call will be sent here against Toronto with some pushing going on down in the corner on the far side, and that is Connor Garland and is it Pacioretty?
Yeah. Pacioretty doesn't seem to be too involved in it, I think. And Garland still got a hold of his jersey.
This is Indigenous night for the Maple Leafs, and George Armstrong's nieces are in attendance tonight. They're going to drop up and see us, and Haley and Jesse are quite a pair, let me tell you. They are characters that remind you of George. They have a lot of fun, and it's practical joking and everything else that George Armstrong was absolutely famous for. And affectionately known as the Chief, he managed to terrorize my hero John Bauer for a number of years as they roomed together for, the entire time I think that they were together as Leafs. Here are the Leafs now in over the line on the left wing, and Connor Dewar couldn't get by the hit there on the far side of Carson Soucy. Leaves Tanev pinches to keep the puck in. Brisebois has it now, and a pass comes up on the left wing. Here's Di Giuseppe sending it down into the Toronto end, and the Leafs go back for the puck. 14-12 are the shots favoring the Maple Leafs. Really hasn't been a good scoring chance here in the second period, though, has it?
No. I mean, on Vancouver side, and I'd be hard-pressed, even with some of the good shifts the Leafs have had. I don't know if Lankinen has been forced to make one.
Here the Canucks in over the line, into the slot. A wrist shot deflected wide. Timmins forced into the corner. Puck along the boards. That's drawing a crowd. It comes back to the point. A shot. That deflected wide of the net. Brisebois back of the goal, and now Benoit trying to come up with it. It came in front of the net, and it's around the boards to the near side. Hughes banking it back in, cut off there by Domi, but he gives the puck away and battles to get it back, and does. And Timmins has it back of the net. Far side for McMahon. Bobby McMahon ahead for Domi. Domi into the slot, dropping it off for Robertson. A little stutter step, goes cross ice now, and a chance in with a shot. And a blocking save made there by Elias Pettersson, who dove feet first to block that shot. Canucks across the line. Pettersson with a pass back in, and it wasn't redirected on goal, and the Leafs can't get out. Down the boards is DeBrusk. Back of the net, former Bruin trying to control the puck. Played in along the boards on the near side. Chopped along, and now here's Marner getting it ahead, and out comes McMahon with Marner across the line. Wrist shot is steered wide of the goal by Lankinen. Wasn't much of a chance. Back of the net for Besser. He'll play up on the left wing, and Pettersson will get to center ice and play it in over the line. Oliver Ekman-Larsson around back of the net. Laid up at center and in over the line. In goes the Leafs' Matthew Nyes. Can't come up with it. Austin Matthews against the boards. Nyes jams his man up against the wall with the puck secured with a skate up against the boards. Finally, well, it was Doug Free now. Now it is Doug Free, and the Leafs get it back to the point. Tanev looking for a redirect from Nyes, and that went wide. Centering effort by Matthews. Quite a collision with four players down on the ice. And back of the goal, Nylander trying to get to it on the near boards. Nylander is high-sticked.
Boy, and he is still down on the near boards. Referee's coming over to survey the damage.
And it will be Miller who goes to the penalty box. And this is the third power play of the game for the Maple Leafs. 5:01 left to play in the period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To everybody that be living it up, we said.
Yo, what's up? It's SiriusXM Fly. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm over on channel 50 playing those 90s.
What's my name? Let's flip the track, bring the old school back.
And 2000s hip-hop and R&B throwbacks. Commercial free 24/7. Pull up channel 50 and at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices. Holla.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Wait, where's the webcam button? There it is. Hey, what's up, Leafs fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight here on TSI. We are going after that plaque right there. We're going after 100,000 insiders / subscribers. Thank you so much for being here with us, chatting it up, cheering on our Maple Leafs every single game of the season and the playoffs. Now let's get back to the hockey. Welcome to the new insiders. Cheers. And don't forget, turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live. We go live a lot of other sports as well. We'll see you back in the chat.
Play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Power Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. And the face-off brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. Draw to the right of the Canucks goaltender. And the draw won by Vancouver, rung around the boards. Marner couldn't block it, and it's down the ice. Not 5 forwards this time. Morgan Riley is back of the goal with it. He's going to start out. Now drops it back. Nylander controls, comes to the red line. Left wing pass out of the reach of Matthews. Wow, that wasn't icing. Leafs catch a break there.
Said it went off the stick.
Wow, I didn't think so. Kept alive by the Canucks, though, and they're going to break it out. They're going to bring it to center. Suter in across the line, just dumps it into the zone. Leafs go around back of the goal, and they'll start again. This unit has not had a shot on goal with the man advantage. Tavares dropping for Marner. Marner through neutral ice to the line. Back to Tavares on the right wing. Works to the half boards and stops. Now he's in a bit of a traffic jam as he gets it back to Riley. Over on the far side for Nylander. Controlled with his skate. Back to Riley off a stick. Near side for Marner. Marner trying to chip it in, and now it's going the wrong way. Susie, a 2-on-1 break. In over the line and a shot, and Hildeby takes that away off of the stick of Sherwood. Now a bad pass, and it's brought back in offside by the Canucks. And the Leafs' first power play unit has just been atrocious.
So you think as an amateur coach I might have been right?
Very amateur.
You think I would have been right? And then you start the other 5?
But you know what? That's the type of guy you are, though. Go ahead and make the change. Not working, let's fix it.
Yeah, that's nobody has ever done that in the history of sports before. So I'm feeling a bit of a pioneer here.
Yes, you are. The fact that it didn't happen has nothing to do with what it should have done. Right. Leafs second unit is on now. Let's see if they can get the puck to the net, but only 26 seconds left in the penalty. Cleared around the boards and Domi traps. Back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson gives it back to him. A shot intercepted. Blocked by Ekman-Larsson. Pushed out at center in a foot race here. Garland trying to get in. Gets it in front of the goal. Stopped by Hildeby. And he gets a bit of a break with a quick whistle. And then we get some shoving down there.
Leafs have got to be careful.
Robertson in the middle of it. Yeah, there's makeup calls coming here with 3 straight power play opportunities for Toronto.
Just 7 seconds left in this power play. Anything close to a shot? I don't think so, right?
No. Shot. It never had control of it. And your point is well made. When all of this stuff is not working, 3 passes and someone shoot it. I mean, just do something different.
I realized they had 5 forwards when they scored in Carolina after giving up the shorthanded goals. But it's just, it's almost like you just got to have an A and B unit, right? Whether you put Marner and Matthews on one, Tavares and Nylander on another.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's perplexing. Well, it's obviously perplexing to any Leaf fan, and it's got to be absolutely horrific for the coaching staff, right? Why is this not working? Why,
Yeah, and then there's other things that I honestly don't have an answer for. Alexander Ovechkin has scored 1 million goals in the power play in the left wing circle, one-timers.
Yeah.
Why? Everybody knows he's there. Everybody knows what they're trying to do.
Why doesn't somebody figure it out? Exactly.
Or why does it work?
Yes. Canucks in their own zone. And here's a penalty. There you go. Yeah. Camp reached around and grabbed the Vancouver player, and the Canucks are going to go to the power play, leading 1-0. They have the puck in their own zone, and goaltender Lankinen is getting to the bench. Hughes almost stick-handled that into his own goal. Wouldn't that be something? Now he has it back in the center ice area to Miller. Miller will give it back to Hughes. Hughes, rink wide. Brought on by Miller through center, drops it off onto the left wing and into the zone for Suter. Back to the point, Hughes over on the far side. The official having the arm up for a while here. A shot deflects and into the net.
Yeah, it got through.
Is it DeBrusque? Someone tipped that in front of the goal and it went up and over. Goaltender Dennis Hildeby. Hughes is first to the bench, so did it? No, you know what? Went off Connor Timmins, I think.
Yeah. So Vancouver doesn't get the power play because they don't need it. And the Leafs are in big trouble now. I don't know what the delay is. I don't think there's any goalie interference here.
18:12 is the time of the scoring play. And the Leafs trail by a 2-0 count to the Vancouver Canucks, whose man advantage work has been a lot better than the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though it wasn't an official power play. We get an icing now as it goes down the ice.
But, you know, and we'd be talking about guys who can get it through. Quinn Hughes can do that, right? And again, that wasn't a blast.
Hard shot. No.
The wrist shot. Now, there's the wrist shot that gets through, but there's also two Canucks in front of the net. And I think that's where you can be critical of the Leafs at times, that everybody's so fanned out that it doesn't produce those opportunities for a lot of redirections.
Vancouver wins the face-off. Hughes punching it around back of the net. Chipped up on the boards, but not out. And back of the goal, Myers trying to pin his man to the wall. Got some help there from Morgan Riley. Myers has got pretty good leverage there and got his man pinned up against the wall. The puck still there. Now back of the net. Canucks come out with it, banking it back. Hughes with a shot. Knocked down as it comes back to the point. Myers' wrist shot blocked. Nyes got it out at center ice, but Myers was able to recover. Hughes playing it back into the center ice zone, and a bank pass gets the Canucks in over the line with Brock Besser. Over on the right wing side, a shot, and that was just off the mark wide. Kept in by Hughes to the other side. Canucks controlling the puck and getting it in front of the net, but it was knocked down, and then Morgan Riley got flattened there by Juleson against the boards. Here the Canucks into the corner now trying to come out with it. DeBrusque couldn't help out. Matthews finally gets his stick on it and pushes it ahead, and Morgan Riley skates it out at center. He's going to flip it into the right wing corner. Marner will give pursuit, but Hughes skates it out from behind the goal and starts up at center with a pass on the left wing. In across the line for Sherwood. Couldn't get it in front of the net. Played back and round the board's far side, and Chris Tanev banks it out into the center ice area. 2-0 Vancouver. And Hughes gets his 8th goal of the year, I believe. Double check that. 9th goal of the year. And there's the horn that ends the period.
I still think it was Garland, Joe, that might have been the last Canuck to get a stick on it. But doesn't matter from a Leaf standpoint. 3 straight power plays that produce, 0 scoring chances. And you find yourself on the wrong end of a 2-0 score going into the third period. You get one, floodgates might open a little bit, but when you get Vancouver coming in, where they didn't get into Toronto till today because of bad weather in Carolina last night, you would think here's an opportunity. We can talk all we want about the Leafs and how many back-to-back games they've had. This was the perfect opportunity to take advantage of somebody else. They've only got 20 minutes left to do that.
Well, there is 20 minutes left. 2-0 is the hill to climb. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deets.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
2-0 Vancouver over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. Hughes with a late goal in the second period. We'll be back to wrap it up next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point. Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and wide receiver Allen Robinson as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
I think that's what makes the National Football League so special.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And yeah, and Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under review
with Mick Kerr.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
On NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
It's on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And
And Vancouver is a 2-0 lead over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five. Buy any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com. Jim Taddy and Josh Cloak from The Athletic. Josh, what the heck happened there?
Almost zero urgency.
Yeah.
Right? They looked like a team that looked like they were playing their third game in 3 nights.
Or?
Right? This is just a team that is not generating enough quality chances. That's what stuck out to me. The Leafs, on average, generate a little bit over 11 high-danger scoring chances per game. That's 8th in the NHL. They've put up 4 through 2 periods. So you're on pace for 6. So about half of what you normally generate in terms of high danger chances. And that's not meant to be, an analytics wonk. It's just the fact is that they don't look like a team. They're not playing like a team that looks desperate to win right now. I don't think that second goal is on Hildeby. I actually think Dennis Hildeby has recovered quite well and is looking really, really solid. But the team in front of him is not getting close enough to the net. They're not making things dangerous for Lankinen, right? And they're essentially their best players. The Leafs' best players have not been as good as the Canucks' best players tonight.
I think there's 2 things that would sum that up. First is the Leafs' power play. The second one is the Vancouver goal happens as they're on a delayed penalty call. The Leafs are on the delayed penalty call, and Vancouver's pulled the goalie. And I watched how methodically they worked that puck around, not to give away the possession in their own end of the rink. And then they got it down to the Leafs zone and scored. I thought that was fairly decent in terms of play execution and very smart play by the Canucks.
I'll go one step simpler. Just get it to the net. Right? That's what is missing from this Leafs team right now. How many times have they made life difficult for Kevin Lankinen? Right? And
they had their best chances at the end of the first.
And this is a team that looks like, again, one team looks like they got into town around 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's the team that live here.
That's right. That's right.
And,
it's the home team.
Yeah. So, no, it's concerning. These 2 periods are definitely concerning because you're only out shooting the Canucks 15-14. Not a lot happening.
So the energy, I don't know how much that power play takes the energy out of the team, but they had that power play at 14:59, 15 minutes to 17 minutes, and then the goal by Hughes comes at 18:12, just after that power play. And on that power play, Vancouver had the better scoring chances.
Yeah, I really think, I know we've been talking about it a lot tonight, but I really think we're getting to a point where you're going to start to see changes on the power play. Whether it's personnel, whatever it ends up being, I guess it has to be personnel at this point, because you can't keep doing this. They just look so static with the puck. They look out of ideas. But you need, this screams like, bring a guy from the second unit up who's playing with urgency. I don't know who that is right now. None of their second unit guys are necessarily on heaters. This would have been a good moment when Bobby McMahon was on his heater to bring him up.
Yeah.
But you need that aggression.
Well, you could look at it a couple of ways. Isn't it whoever the quarterback is, isn't that sort of the guy who's at fault more? Like the play caller?
Yeah, I know, and I'm feeling a little bit of heat for suggesting in the pregame that you got to keep Morgan Riley on there. And he hasn't looked great on the power play. Maybe it's an Ekman-Larsson thing. Maybe he comes in. We know he's a playmaker, but I don't know. I think this is probably what's concerning, too, for the Leafs, because there is no obvious answer.
No.
Right? Earlier in the season when they were struggling, it was put Matt Nyes up in there.
Yeah,
right?
Well,
Let's see what he can do up there.
All that, yeah.
There's no obvious answer right now.
It's a weird situation, and it's, you can see how the Canucks just actually enjoyed being shorthanded because they drove that penalty kill.
There were people on Twitter, I was reading on Leafs Twitter, saying, we got a power play, can we send it back?
Yeah, decline.
Yeah.
Wow, it's sarcasm, but it's how everybody feels.
Wasn't it Jerry Seinfeld that said there's some truth in every joke? This just looks like a team that looks a bit tentative as well on the power play, and that's exactly what you don't want.
No. So it's 2-0 Vancouver over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
We are summer. Are you ready?
It's coming soon. North America's largest indoor boat show, the Toronto International Boat Show. New this year, late night Thursday. The show will be open until 10 p.m. Extended hours for shopping on Thursday night, January 18th to 26th at the Enercare Center.
We are summer. Are you ready?
We are summer.
The Toronto Boat Show.
Visit TorontoBoatShow.com.
This is a message from United Way to a Jesse M. of Mississauga. Hello, Jesse. You might be wondering why we made an ad specifically for you. Because, Jesse, you see, we're fighting poverty any way we can. Even cold calling a complete stranger over the radio. Bold, isn't it? Together, we can make sure everyone has what they need, like food, housing, good jobs, and mental health supports. Join people like Jesse to build a better GTA. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org. Thanks, Jesse.
Hey, it's Brian Hayes, and I have a confession to make. I skipped the gym a lot over the summer months, but thanks to the judgment-free zone at Planet Fitness, I'm back in my routine and feeling better than ever. Planet Fitness offers a variety of high-quality, brand-name cardio and strength equipment, and get this, a membership will only cost you $15 a month. That's right. $15 a month. So visit planetfitness.ca today or pop into a gym near you and get back into your routine at Planet Fitness.
Don't let knee pain hold you back. Step forward with Genicol Pain Relief, Canada's #1 selling joint care supplement. With its blend of amino-lock collagen and eggshell membrane, Genicol Pain Relief is clinically proven to help reduce joint pain from osteoarthritis. And you can start feeling results in just 5 days. Ready to try it? Get your $4 rebate at painrelief.genicol.ca to buy in-store or online. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label. Genicol makes me feel so good.
Stay cozy this winter with awe-inspiring experiences at CF Sherway Gardens. Spectacle, Rare and Astonishing Photographs is an exhibit by National Geographic with over 60 award-winning photographs that showcases the world like never before. Bring the family down to walk a tightrope at Circus Science Under the Big Top and build Lego creations at Towers of Tomorrow with Lego bricks brought to you by the Ontario Science Centre. Don't miss out on the fun at CF Sherway Gardens. Visit cfsherwaygardens.com to learn more.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. In the third period, Devils 2-1 over the Lightning. Also in the third, Jackets 2-0 over the Blues. And in the second, it is the Caps and Predators scoreless. And in the second, Jets 2-0 over the Avs. And also after 40 minutes of play, Flyers 3, Ducks 0. After 40 minutes of play as well, Canadiens and Stars tied at 1. And again, same time frame, Oilers and Blackhawks tied at 3. Earlier today, Bruins 4-3 in overtime over the Panthers. Kraken got by the Sabres 6-2. Ottawa shut out the Penguins 5-0, getting set to start in mere seconds. Islanders in Utah, later on Wild in San Jose, Rangers in visiting the Golden Knights in Vegas, and the Kings visiting the Flames in Calgary. In our game, Vancouver 2-0 over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
It's Carrie's country. You're just living in it.
You can tell Carrie's in her element. These are her people. This is what she loves to do.
Carrie Underwood's own channel, featuring live performances, brand new music, and never-before-heard stories from the idol-turned-country icon.
You want to hear a variety. You don't want to hear the same songs. You want new things for your ear to gravitate toward.
Travel to Carrie's country anytime. Sirius XM Channel 60.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs trail 2-0 here to the Vancouver Canucks. Things have really turned for the worse now. The Armstrong girls have arrived. Oh, very nice. Good to see you girls, all dolled up, looking great.
And we should be able to play something in the can that's already ready to go, right?
Yeah. We'll just take the rest of the night off. Yeah, why wouldn't we? Yeah, there's nothing going on here. Yeah. Hughes' goal is an unassisted tally. Besser from Myers and Pettersson in the first period on the very first shot on goal. And the Leafs' 3 power plays have been nothing short of putrid because I don't believe they have a shot on goal in any of them. So we'll wait and see. Some work has got to be done here so far for the third period.
Leafs have had some success when trailing into the third period. And so far this year, when trailing after 2, 4, 12, and 1. So 5 of the 17 times they've trailed, they've come back. The Canucks, when leading after 2, 13, 0, and 6. We already talked about how Vancouver and the Pittsburgh Penguins lead the NHL in power play or in overtime games played. That's what the Leafs got to do, just get them to overtime. The way things have gone for Vancouver.
Leafs to the right and the Canucks to the left, and the puck is dropped and we're underway to start the third period as Myers backpedals it into his own zone. Leafs moving from right to left on your radio dial as it's shot in by Sherwood, and the Leafs will control the puck off the skate of Benoit. Up ahead for Pacioretty, couldn't deflect it ahead to a teammate, shot by Vancouver back into the Leaf zone. Benoit up against the boards in the near corner has drawn a crowd. And it is centered as it comes back to Myers at the point. His wrist shot went off a leg and went wide. Gets another try and a wrist shot there. Whistled over top of the goal off the stick of Sherwood. Another shot deflects wide of the net. And the Leafs are hemmed in their own end here. Brought on into the slot area by Hughes. Hughes works it into the slot again. The shot scores! Sherwood set up in front of the net by Hughes. And if the Leafs were thinking of comeback, they have built a bigger hill to climb with a goal 47 seconds into the third period.
That looked like a power play, didn't it? Leafs ended up collapsing back in front of Hildeby. And I mean, this shot is from the inside the top of the right wing circle, but Sherwood's got time to cradle it, stop, look, pick a corner, and then hit it. As this time it was a Domi line that got caught out. And I mean, there was the high slot was wide open, and the Canucks take advantage.
3-0. And Tanev will reverse the puck. Ekman-Larsson got it ahead for Nyes. Nyes to Tanev, to Tavares across the line on the left wing. And now it's Tavares between Nyes and Marner. At least on this shift. Here's Marner working back with a wrist shot. That deflected wide. Tavares tried to chip it in front. It comes to the near wing. And Nyes unable to control it. Now plays it into the corner. Tavares had it knocked off his stick. Played around the boards to the far side. Tanev is pinched in there to try and create a disturbance, but it goes around back of the goal, and the Canucks now trying to work it up on the wing, and it'll be played up on the boards, and Besser will get it out at center ice. Vancouver needs a change. They'll buy it by just flipping it into the corner on the far side in the Toronto end. Change is coming. And we've got McMahon with Matthews and Nylander. So the coaching staff is trying to shake some things up here, and they've changed the makeup of the forward lines, at least in the first couple of shifts. And it goes into the bench area of the Vancouver Canucks, so there'll be a face-off coming in neutral ice.
Every team goes through it, right? You've got these flat periods, and this is what's difficult to figure out why. When you consider that Vancouver played the night before, it's their third game in 4 nights, let alone back-to-back, so on a road trip.
Matthews' shot deflects wide of the goal.
And it's the Leafs that look sluggish.
Brought out at center by Connor Garland. He flips it into the near corner. Myers reverses the puck, but it's going to be the Canucks who send it around to the far side. Höglander getting to it on the far wing, but it is broken up, and the Leafs play it out at center, but too far for Nylander to get to. Now Nylander chips it along the boards for Bobby McMahon. In for David Camp. He doesn't shoot it. Works to the near boards and loses it. And the Canucks are around back of the net. Legermacki trying to get it to Hughes, and Hughes will start up now with a pass up on the left wing. Brought in over the line by Vancouver and down into the far corner. Defenseman trying to get it along the boards was Timmins, and takes it around back of the net. Little bank pass there that doesn't clear. Kept alive and fed in then by Bluger, and it's the Leafs in the near corner trying to get organized. Just 15 shots on goal for either team, but 3 have gotten in behind the Leaf netminder. We get an offside at the Vancouver blue line.
Well, 2 of them the point shots, and then the one here in the third period launched. I mean, you need a save there, right? And it's not so much that you hang the game on Hildeby at this point. Obviously, there's been no offense, but if there's a comeback, goaltender usually needs to be perfect from the 2-goal deficit on.
Face-off is outside the blue line in the Vancouver half of the rink. And they control the face-off. Soucy gets it to his defense partner, who gets it ahead at center. Picked away there by the Leafs, though, and now shot into Vancouver territory. Pacioretty on the far board sends it to an open wing. Canucks are there to recover the puck. Bank it off the boards. Sherwood gets it out into neutral ice. And Sherwood, how many goals is that for him? Check. That's his 13th of the season. Into the slot area. Riley's backhand didn't reach the net as it deflected wide. Quickly cleared back at center ice, and Robertson back on the left wing for Domi. Domi with a shot. That was kicked away by Lankinen. And the Vancouver Canucks just play it high to center ice again. That'll force Morgan Riley back into his own end. And as flat as the Maple Leafs are, the crowd is flatter as it's shot down into the Vancouver end. Round back of the net, Pettersson trying to get it around the boards, cut off by the Leafs and coming to the front of the net. And a chance there for Nyes, but it was blocked by a sprawling Vancouver defender. Kept alive by the Maple Leafs. Tavares back to the point. Ekman-Larsson to the far side, and a wrist shot is deflected wide. Best pressure the Leafs have had in a while as the puck goes back in around back of the Vancouver net and then is sent out and down the ice and right on goal, as Hildeby had to be cautious with that. It was close to an icing. Except if he doesn't stop it, it might have been 4-0. Ekman-Larsson back in his own end. Leafs get it ahead off the stick of McMahon down into the Vancouver end, pushed around by Soucy to the near boards. Canucks will get it out at center, and Garland gives the puck away to Nylander, who's going to try and regroup it with the defense, and now gets a return pass. Up ahead for Matthews. Drop past Bobby McMahon, closing. Good pad save made there, but the Leafs got a shot on goal. throw a paper airplane out there?
No.
You see that kind of going down? I thought for a moment George Armstrong was with us. Played around the boards to the far side. Kept into the corner. Leafs get it up ahead, and Bobby McMahon turns. McMahon will just play it in. He's in need of a change. Robertson couldn't block a clearing attempt. Canucks bring it back. Legermacki sends it in around back of the net, and Morgan Riley, the BC native, is back of the goal. Riley, a pass ahead at center, onto the left wing for Domi. Gets around Myers, got a shot away, but it's off a stick and up into the screen and out of play. 3-0 Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
Wildcard weekend wraps up with a Monday night matchup between the Rams and the Vikings. This game has been moved from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles to Glendale, Arizona due to the wildfires in California. The Vikings now sit as a 2.5-point favorite. Make sure you tune in to Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio. Channel 159 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them.
Hey, hockey fans. Once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the Leafs here on TSI. Tonight, we've got the Philadelphia Flyers. It's Sunday night. We played last night against the Bruins and got it done on Hockey Night in Canada. Let's cheer them on loud and get it done tonight. Come on, we got to keep winning these games. I had to put on my Austin Matthews jersey because, that performance last night, amazing. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button down below. It helps bring more hockey fans here to the chat. As well, please share the link out. The amazing work that you guys have done over the last year of games here on Toronto Sports Insider is absolutely insane, and I can't thank you enough. So thank you for hitting the like button, and thank you for sharing it out. It really, really makes a difference. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in there.
Come up and visit us. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
Armstrong girls and some of their friends. That was very nice.
Yeah, it seemed like they're having fun despite
the score.
Despite but you mentioned the paper airplane. It was almost as if it was a sign, right?
Exactly, wasn't it?
Because that's one thing George Armstrong at the end. After everybody was gone, right, out of the building.
He'd spend the third period constructing in different manners a paper airplane out of some of the notes, and if it got to the ice, it was a big toss. Oh yeah. Well, the things you think about, right? I mean, they're just little things, and how much we enjoyed him. My goodness. Face-off won by the Leafs. At the point, a shot by Myers doesn't make it through. It comes to the side of the goal. Nyes gets it back to Myers again. D to D. It comes to Riley. Now to Marner. A shot in front of the net. Blocked. Grabbed off by Riley again. Played along the boards. It comes to the point. Myers punches it around back of the net. Now Marner trying to come out in front. Oh, and he made a nice feed out there. Nyes couldn't get a stick on it. Leafs playing with some determination for a change here as it comes out at center ice. And now Tavares gives it back to Marner, who gains the zone. Pulls the brakes on and now drops it back at a tough big pad save made by Lankinen. Maybe the best scoring chance the Leafs have had in the game right there. Laid down into the Toronto end. Nice to see some urgency, but there's only 13 minutes left, and a hill is 3-0. Back of the goal now for Riley. Up ahead for Matthews. Being hounded there as he got it up on the wing. And now Matthews ahead for McMahon. Bobby McMahon driving, trying to cut to the net. He did! And he crashes into the goal. And the goaltender. And the official is
doing play-by-play, I think, down there, isn't he?
Why don't you I'll take my headset off, throw it down, and I'll take the rest of the night off. Anyway.
He's now talking to Kevin Lankinen, the Vancouver goaltender, see if he's okay. But McMahon probably did Lankinen a favor by not trying to cut through the blue paint, right? McMahon took the brunt of that blow. Earlier, it was a big rebound that John Tavares couldn't corral. The most amazing thing that you shake your head at is, again, you go back to the Carolina game on Thursday. And the first 12 minutes of the game might have been the best they started a game all season. But since then...
Draw one by, no one yet. It's up against the boards. Now it comes back to the point. Ekman Larsson's shot deflects into the near corner. Down the boards, the Canucks are able to push it free, and Garland sends a long alley-oop down deep into the Toronto zone, and around back of the net it goes. Matthews can't get to it. Timmins knocks his man down. Nylander got it out. The Canucks send it right back in again, and change is coming. Domi line coming over the boards for Toronto. Robertson and Pacioretty. So lots of changes here on the forward complement as it's played back down into the Toronto end. Centering pass gobbled up there by Robertson. Robertson back at the goal into the far corner. Timmins couldn't help out, and the puck comes into the slot. The shot was deflected wide of the goal. Leafs still can't come away with it. Canucks into the corner with Sherwood, playing it around the boards to the defense, and Soucy sends it right back. Sherwood back of the goal. Trying to work back now, and a centering pass goes off a stick, and it's going to be brought out at center ice by Nick Robertson, ahead for Domi. Max brings it wide to the right wing side. Just got in over the line, and a rolling puck in front of the net. Pacioretty couldn't get to get a shot delivered to the goal. Canucks starting back up at center. Marner over the boards, and the Leafs are changing again. And Nyes along with Tavares and Marner. To center for Tanev. He'll shoot it in. Around the boards near side. Tavares jams into the corner, but the puck comes free to Hughes. He banks it off the boards to get it past Tanev, and here the Canucks in over the line. A pass into the slot area, and unable to get his stick on it was Giuseppe. Back of the net for Marner. Up ahead for Tavares. Tavares leaves it back for Marner. Marner gets it back to Tavares on the left wing. He gets it to the line and in for Myers. Myers with a shot goes high and wide of the goal. The Leafs have 18 shots on goal. That's 3 in this period. With the one good one that Lankinen made the big pad save on. Now Nyes back of the goal, trying to come out in front. Couldn't get it on the boards there as Dewar was over the boards. Pass in front of the net. Connor Dewar into the left wing corner for Toronto. Works back towards the blue line. Ekman Larsson being mirrored there and unable to get it by Lekkerimäki, and it's played into the corner and now launched high to center ice by Vancouver. Quickly played back for David Kampf. Kampf sends a long shot well wide of the goal. Far side then for Dewar. Couldn't get it back to the point, and Vancouver will buy half the rink by sending it down into the Toronto zone. 9:37 to go and a 3-0 lead for the Vancouver Canucks. And the question that a lot of fans are probably asking, how many shutouts does Kevin Lankinen have? Back into the slot, and a shot that deflects wide of the Toronto net. Played around the boards and onto the near wing. And just pushed out into the center ice area, but cleared right back down into the Toronto zone, and Hildeby will leave it there for Morgan Rielly. Rielly, a pass up on the left wing that McMahon couldn't get to. Back to the point. Rielly tried to keep it in, but it came out over the line and has come out to neutral ice for a face-off with 8:58 to play.
3 this season, 6 in his career. Shutouts
he has.
Yes.
He has one now. 3-0 is the score. I don't know if the jinx will work or not, but we'll try. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local...
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs game. A big shout out to all of the Insiders here in the chat and everybody that's watching here on YouTube with us while we listen to the Leafs game. The best call in the business, Mr. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. No better call ever, in my opinion. Thank you so much for being here every single night. And you are making a huge difference in our community with SickKids Hospital. The amount of donations that we are seeing in the football frenzy is absolutely insane. Thank you, Leafs fans, and thank you, Insiders. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go!
Sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Face-off in the center ice area, 3-0 Vancouver. Besser, Hughes, and Sherwood, the goal scorers. And two of the goals have come in the first minutes of periods. First shot, actually, for Besser, 31 seconds into the first period, and then Sherwood scoring 47 seconds into the third.
Mike Babcock, start on time.
Start on time. And the Canucks will play it back into their zone, trying to win for the 12th time on the road this year. As we mentioned, their home record is 7-8-6, but they're 11-5-4 on the road. Oliver Ekman-Larsson has lost his stick in a centering pass, and Hildeby got a pad in front of that as it goes into the corner on the far side. Matthews couldn't come out with it. Pokes it free, and now here's Bobby McMahon starting away. Up ahead for Nylander. Back for McMahon, left wing side, driving, goes around back of the goal, rolled it in front of the net, and it knocked away from in the goal crease, and now is launched into the bench. Bench.
Yeah, linesman.
Wait a minute, there's a discussion. Nope, it's going to be a penalty. Oh, no. Well, wait a minute. No, we're just going to the private area. Oh, the cone of silence area. They're going to have a discussion.
Would you believe?
Oh, one of the great comedic series. And a face-off inside the zone. And apparently that's all there is. All right.
Now, I mean, this is reviewable as well. I don't know if you can review if it's not called. I think you can review if it is called.
Is called. Oh, maybe you're right.
Challenge it.
Yeah. Face off in the circle to the left in the Vancouver end. Draw one by Toronto. Into the slot and a wrist shot is eye high, and Pacioretty couldn't get there to give proper screen, and the Robertson shot was a fairly easy save for Lankinen.
And again, I mean, there was time for two forwards off the face-off to get to the front of the net, right? And there was just sort of that, let's pull up and wait and see how we're going to maneuver ourselves to get it there.
I got my stick out there. I'm going to try and, instead of trying to take the eyes.
Yeah, but by the time Robertson let it go, I mean, Pacioretty was still, 15 feet from the net?
Yeah. Round back of the goal for Juleson, who gets it out. Vancouver will flip it ahead, and that's going to be a delayed offside that the Leafs can utilize, and they will by sending it back to Connor Timmins. Leafs' next action is at home Tuesday when the Dallas Stars are in town. Up ahead it comes to Robertson, across the line into the slot on the wing. Domi doesn't shoot it though, and it comes back to Riley. Riley to Robertson. Robertson across ice pass and a shot whistled wide of the goal by Myers. Gotta hit the net on that. Pack intercepted by Vancouver and played down into the Toronto end. Round back of the net. A pass ahead that Nope, going to be an icing call against Toronto. So it's coming back into the Leaf end.
Even with those last chances, Joe, there's nobody in front of the net. And the Leafs had even, Myers' opportunity where he missed the net. As he walked in, it was a great chance.
Yep.
But, Lankinen sees it all the way and gets a piece of it.
And we talk about it.
Well, and so does Greg Berube.
Sure,
right?
but here's the other thing. This team leads, or is among the leaders, in blocked shots at the other end of the rink, where they're getting in front of their own net and blocking shots. So why not go to the other net, in front of the net, and tip pucks and try to score?
Just not blocking them at the other end should be easier, right?
Yes, yeah, because you want to get out of the way, right?
I think we figured it all out.
You know what? Two of the brightest hockey minds you'll ever see are not sitting in this booth. Played down into the Toronto end.
Don't believe us?
Yeah, just listen for a bit. Marner has to chase after a loose puck in the Toronto zone. Ekman Larsson sends an alley-oop and an oops into the Vancouver bench. So a face-off will come back in the Toronto end of the rink. 6:12 to go in the third period, and if you were in attendance tonight, you haven't had much to hoot and holler about. 3-0, Vancouver.
Rick Tocchet, the Jack Adams Trophy winner last year, in behind the bench. And there have been some gong show stories coming out of Vancouver, whether it's this year or the way Bruce Boudreau is treated.
At the point, a shot deflected on goal, but stopped by Lankinen. Actually, I think he saw that one all the way. I don't think it was deflected, to be honest with you. Played out at center ice, and now right back down into the Toronto end with 5:49 to play. And if they're going to mount any kind of a comeback, it's going to have to happen in a big-time hurry. Timmins to center, shoots it around the boards to the left wing side. Here's McMahon carrying back of the goal to the far corner, back to the point, diving to knock it out at center was Suter. Again played to the line, but not in deep, and then Riley has to go back into his own zone. Give it off on the far wing, and a pass off Robertson's skate, corralled by Vancouver. They're quite content to kill the clock and send it back into the Toronto end. Brought out now by Domi. Domi unable to get through center, and a smattering of unhappy patrons voicing their displeasure with 4:53 to go. And over the line, and a hit there by Ekman Larsson takes his man down. And out come the Leafs at center with Chris Tanev. He's in across the line. Works to the near boards. Back to the blue line. Marner with a pass back in front of the net. Oh, and Tavares couldn't redirect that pass from Nyes. Cleared high to center ice. Tanev back in his own zone. Starting back up ice. Tanev to the line. Had it knocked off his stick. And the Canucks are back in control with Myers finding his defense partner, and is brought to center ice and launched deep into the Toronto end. Played around the boards by Myers, but the Canucks keep it in and play it back of the net. Myers again on the boards for Tavares. Back to Myers, and Myers will find Morgan Riley with 4 minutes left to play in the third period.
Well, you give the Canucks credit. They had all the excuses lined up. Yet they didn't have a good showing tonight, but they were managed to turn the tables on the Leafs. We did say in the media room, though, before the game, didn't we, that when you look at all the circumstances, you're going, this could be bad.
Yeah.
For the Toronto side.
Played to center ice. Bobby McMahon coughs the puck up. Brought in over the line by DeBrusk. He plays it back at the net. Besser has it knocked away. Up on the wing it comes. And McMahon looking to move up ice now. One hands it ahead for Matthews. Matthews to the right wing side, and Timmins across the line. Got it back to Matthews. He couldn't get a shot. And it's played right back down into the Toronto zone. At this point, Austin Matthews has 2 shots on goal and 2 attempts blocked. Canucks have sent it down the ice, and an icing call is going to come with 2:50 left to play here in the third period.
Now, I mean, you do understand, when people get upset, especially here. This might be, for a lot of people, your only game of the season.
Yep. A lot of people.
And you save up and get to go, and, you want to see your stars. You want to see them perform. And the Leafs right now in danger of being shut out for the 3rd time this season and the 2nd time on home ice.
And then you have to look at the big picture. They're atop the Atlantic Division. They played pretty well throughout the course of the season. And as much as you want to nitpick at times, you have to say, overall.
Well, yeah, but like I said, this is more towards the people that this is not the norm for them to be able to get to go.
Exactly.
Fortunately, you can't control which games
are going to be really good.
Teams lose on home ice.
Puck down in the zone. Domi ran over his man as Höglander was taken to the boards. Played off the wall to center. And Robertson couldn't get away. And 2:11 left to go in the third period. And a comfortable 3-0 Vancouver lead. Rick Tocchet, who I've known for many, 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 many years, dating back to his time playing hockey in Scarborough. Handling the bench for the Vancouver Canucks. Played down into the Canucks zone in the left wing corner. Trapped by the Leafs. A long shot by Riley, deflected off a body in front. And the Canucks have control of it now, and it'll be Di Giuseppe bringing it out. So far, no inclination to pull Hildeby for an extra attacker. I think the coaching staff has probably said, we deserve this. We aren't going to do anything more. And we'll discuss this. If not this evening, then it will be before the next game against the Dallas Stars. Now in the old days with John Brophy, when everybody left the building, he may have just said, keep your stuff on because we're coming out for a little skate afterwards. I remember seeing that a number of times at the American Hockey League level.
Experienced that.
That's when they could really be nasty, right? I don't think the Players Association allows that stuff now.
And that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
No.
A lot of things that would be considered unacceptable today.
28 seconds left in the game. The Vancouver Canucks are going to pick up their 19th win and their 48th point. And they're back to the goal. Timmins having difficulties with it. Final 10 seconds. And this one is in the books. Full marks to the Vancouver Canucks. They whitewashed the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 3-0. As Besser, Hughes, and Sherwood get the goals, the Leafs outshoot Vancouver 20-18.
And I'm going to guess that is the lowest game shot total of the year. Be pretty easy to
sure
say.
That it is fairly accurate.
Yeah, and with all due respect to Kevin Lankin, and obviously he never gave the Leafs anything that would be questionable to allow them.
Two real good scoring chances in the game.
Like on
for
saves?
For the Leafs, yeah. For Lankin.
Yeah, I'm not being smart. I'm trying to think of what they were. I know
one in the third, and I thought the one in the first period, where there was a good scoring chance. And he made two good pad saves.
And they did miss a couple of opportunities in close that they never got a stick on or got it close to the net.
Yeah.
But as far as there was no real extended pressure, like by either team. But Vancouver was lucky. You score early in a hockey game, and if it's low event after that, that's, to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're the road team where there's no pressure to pile on or put on a show. And after winning 5 in a row, welcome to the NHL, you lose 2.
Dallas in town on Tuesday. We'll have that game for you starting at 7 o'clock. And until then, we will ship it off to Mr. Taddy and company for the post-game show. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Indulge in a channel full of soft pop nostalgia.
High-rise jeans, oversized blazers. That was my go-to.
With a special guest host who knows a little something about the late 80s and early 90s.
Hi, I'm Lori Loughlin. You may know me as Aunt Becky. My whole commute to work over at Full House, I would listen to this song.
Mom Jeans. Listen now for a limited time on Channel 17 and available year-round as one of over 200 extra channels on the SiriusXM app.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head.
Another shot, Redden blocked. Another chance. Game over. Bless you, boys. What a game. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. The kid's on fire. They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Minor in over the line looking for Tavares.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Feature of the year, the 2025 Australian Open, as Novak Djokovic looks to continue history, this time pairing up with his former rival, Andy Murray.
And he stands above all others at the Australian Open.
On the women's side, Iga Swiatek looks to silence the doubters after a PED suspension.
He's done it.
Dan Graca and Tracy Austin host the Australian Open Preview Show right now on the SiriusXM app. Just search Australian Open.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And yeah, and Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under review
With Mick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 Hockey Talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And Vancouver takes it with a 3-0 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Vancouver with all the travel problems, but yet win the game. Welcome to Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Josh Cloak from The Athletic. Josh, shutouts, pretty rare when the Leafs get blanked.
What a wonderful setup there. For those out in Radio Land, I dropped something on Tapman before we came on, and he was almost going to refuse to let me just have it unfettered.
Well, guy, come on, guy. If you delay any longer, I'm going to have to tell everybody what we all know.
The Maple Leafs, during the entirety of the Sheldon Keefe era, which let's just call it 4.5 seasons, were shut out 3 times. The Maple Leafs this season under Craig Berube have been shut out now 3 times, and we're essentially halfway through the season.
Which team would you take?
Okay.
Yes.
I see what you're doing there. And
I'd rather have this team.
Okay, and now I see why you were so excited to set me up for this one.
I don't do that.
Because you had your counterpunch ready.
No. And the counterpunch is always there. I mean, you have to know that. I don't plan it. You set me up, and I go, boom, there you go. Watch the left. Oh, it was the right. Sorry.
You are essentially saying you would prefer this team because they appear more built for the playoffs, correct?
What I'm saying to you is that this loss and the one in Carolina are consecutive losses which leave an odor, and that doesn't happen too often. I don't know why they would start that game in Carolina the way they did and fade out. And tonight, obviously the first goal happens, seconds into the game, 31 seconds in, and I thought second half of that first period was theirs. I thought most of the second period was okay for them, and then that Hughes goal goes in, and it's like they had no response. They were lifeless.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure. That's different from what we've seen, right? The Leafs teams in the past, it's an easy thing to say, but there were times where they looked like they found ways to lose. Now they're finding ways to win. There was none of that tonight. I still think it is concerning how often they are shut out. We're talking about the playoffs, right?
That's a relevant point. But game 1 against Montreal in Montreal, 1-0, they lose. Where's that 3-0 loss to Ottawa? Where does that happen? There it is, November 12th. So first night, November 12th, January 11th.
What are you getting at?
It's not that often.
It's essentially the same core. And this same core doesn't. Tonight, against the Canucks, the Canucks' best players were far better than the Leafs' best players.
The Leafs had no energy when they needed it. Had no response.
No energy. This Canucks team.
I know. We know the
just got
story.
here.
Well, that's adrenaline. That's too much coffee. I don't know what that is.
Whatever it is, I'd like some on Monday mornings. Quinn Hughes looked like one of the best players on the planet tonight. The Leafs have 2, maybe 3 players in their arsenal who at times have looked like the best players on the planet. They were nowhere near that tonight.
Oh, I agree with you. They just had no response. I mean, Vancouver just needed the one goal. Look, you don't score, you don't win. And when that happens on home ice, and it's happened 2 out of the 3 times, the loss to Ottawa that I talked about, that was a stinker.
Yeah.
We did that game that night. That was an awful game.
So let's push it forward. Coming out of this, I don't know how much of the blame should be on Hill to be the first goal for sure.
Well, you have to score.
Right? Yeah. You have to, again, I feel like we talked about this in every intermission. You've got to do something with the power play.
Absolutely. That could bail you out of a lot of trouble. And when you're talking about the playoffs, let's say it's tied at 1, you've had 4 power plays and you don't score, you're in trouble.
And you see it tonight, right? They put the top 3 lines through a blender. And if you're going to do that, if there's a fearlessness to do that, why not apply that logic to the power play?
Totally agree with you. Vancouver wins 3-0. This is Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This year, warm up to winter in Ontario, to romantic trips, cozy cabins, warm up to some cool adventure, skiing, ice climbing, skate trails, snowshoeing, chill out by a fire, sipping ice wine, going to a food festival, or a resort. Winter in Ontario. We're warming up to you. Plan it now at destinationontario.com.
Another shot, Redden blocked. Another chance. Game over. Bless you, boys. What a game. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac. The kid's on fire. They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac. Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Minor in over the line looking for Tavares.
Now, thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick.
Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Lapses, and it was breakdowns close to goal that allowed a really active Hurricanes team that would pepper you with shots to get really, really clean looks at goal. I don't know if that was the case tonight, right? The second goal is kind of a blooper. Third one is probably the most convincing. So it's not necessarily that. It's just these are difficult things to say and to quantify, because you come into this game, and you and I both commented, the crowd was into it in a way that they aren't always in this building.
Well, Saturday night. Yeah,
but even some Saturday nights, right? It was a loud crowd.
Yep.
So you don't get that on your side right away. There's a strike against you, and you end the game with boos kind of raining down, as loud as I've heard them here in a long time.
Well, and for a long period of time.
They were persistent, too.
Yeah.
This team in this town is only going to get booed for one thing, in my opinion, and that's a lack of effort.
Yeah.
Right? It's because they're not going to get booed because they don't have the talent. You know, they're going to get booed because fans know there are some highly paid and highly skilled players on this team, and if they're not delivering and competing, that's a reason to boo. So to me, it's not about a defensive breakdown tonight. It's just... And it's a difficult thing to say because we can't really quantify it, but it's a lack of effort. That's really what I saw tonight.
You know, you watch enough hockey games, and I certainly do, to see the pattern. So when you see that goal go in, the Besser goal deflected on a Myers shot, 31 seconds in, and then you see, I'm just going to look at my notes here, Tavares breaking in a goal in the first period, nothing. Robertson, big save by Lankinen. Pacioretty, almost a tip job, and then Riley off the crossbar. That happens all in the last 10 minutes of the first period, and none of those bite, and you go, okay, so it's going to be one of those, is it? Where whatever Vancouver does goes in, and whatever the Leafs doesn't happen.
Yeah, but none of those were truly, truly dangerous.
Oh, the Tavares one was pretty good. It's a breakaway.
We're talking one from this team.
Yeah.
You simply need more.
Well, the Riley one goes off the crossbar. What I'm saying is that you see the pattern. We've seen this before. You go back to that opening night in Montreal, they were all over the place. How they got shut out is remarkable, but they didn't go to the inside, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I always say that when you're coming close, guess what? You got to try harder. You don't settle for it didn't go in. You push harder.
And this is the kind of game that I think we're going to see changes come afterwards. I really do. And by that, I mean, changes in personnel, changes in... not drastic changes in personnel, changes in lines. It wouldn't surprise me if we see, come Monday's practice, things look a little different, because you can't look at this and just say we can keep going. It might be subtle changes, third line, that kind of thing. Feels like something has to happen.
We have a clip of Austin Matthews, correct? Let's listen to it post-game.
I thought we had chances, just couldn't capitalize, and I just thought we couldn't really get momentum on our side. A lot of one and done. Just felt like a little bit disconnected for most of the part of the game, I would say.
What are you seeing on the power play? What needs to improve there?
I think just simplifying it. I think we just got to get more pucks to the net, and there's a lot of movement, a lot of nothing going on, I guess, and I just think we can do a better job of simplifying it. And, getting more shots to the net, and then letting things open up from there.
People as well as body pucks to the net on the power play. I think Austin more net front presence.
Yeah. I mean, we've got, depending on the personnel, but I mean, we got big bodies in front. Obviously, we got guys that can shoot it, so it's just a matter of getting pucks through, getting guys there. And like I said, I mean, it wasn't just on our 5-on-5; it was everything, just being more connected, throughout the rink, supporting each other with, supporting the puck all over the ice. I just didn't think we were very connected tonight.
You get a chance to play with Quinn at the Four Nations. What's standing out about Hughes' game right now?
Yeah, he's a special player, obviously. He's very dynamic. He kind of drives the bus for that team. On both ends of the ice, he's very gifted offensively. He's very shifty, dynamic, breaks pucks out, really clean. He's a special player. So obviously he had a good night tonight. He's always a tough guy to contain, but I thought we could have done a better job on him and a better job on a lot of guys.
Austin Matthews postgame comments powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on the SiriusXM app and talk about all the EPL drama on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Josh Cloak from The Athletic with you. And Josh, Austin Matthews, one and done. Summed it up, didn't it?
Yeah. It's a captain who understands the team, understands the game. Disconnected was a pretty accurate word to assess this game, right? Like what line was really clicking tonight?
You didn't actually see the team unit, did you?
No.
At any time. It's
No,
five guys out in the ice, and that was it.
You saw a few singular efforts, right? John Tavares, like Morgan Riley, hitting the crossbar, but no, disconnected. And, when that happens, that suggests that, there's a lack of chemistry. And so you wonder if we're going to see Craig Berube kind of tear that top nine apart, try and build it back up in the hopes of, building up some of that chemistry. Because right now I don't know how you can go into a game against a really good Dallas team with these same lines.
No, you couldn't go in with that performance.
No.
That would be unacceptable.
And this is something that is really starting to creep up about this Leafs team. They've garnered a lot of results. Yes, but with good teams, they sometimes run into trouble. In the Leafs teams in the past, where they would play down to opponents, this team is starting to have a little bit of trouble, getting results against very, very good teams.
It's funny, with this, we've only got seconds left. You look at some of the wins and you go, maybe those should have been losses.
Yeah, a lot of the analytics back that up too.
Yeah. It's going to be a fascinating second half.
Josh, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Anytime, guy.
Josh, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Anytime, guy.
Okay, Friday, Yes Guy and Leafs Guy, the radio show, wide open for you. Got two opportunities. This is Leafs Game Night, live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, it's being able to slow your heart down and your blood pressure goes up and your decision-making is rash and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run, and like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there. And we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug of war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The two still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, January the 11th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. 1 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Boston Bruins. Panthers on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 931. Bruins on Internet 921. 4 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Ottawa Senators. Penguins on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 941. Senators on Internet 939. 4 p.m., Buffalo Sabres take on the Seattle Kraken. Sabres on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 922. Kraken on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Colorado Avalanche. Jets on XM 204, Internet 951. Avalanche on Internet 926. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Vancouver Canucks. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946. Canucks on Internet 948. 7 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blues on XM 223, Internet 944. Jackets on Internet 927. 7 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Edmonton Oilers. Blackhawks on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 925. Oilers on Internet 930. 7 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Devils on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 936. Lightning on Internet 945. 7 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Anaheim Ducks. Flyers on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 940. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., Montreal Canadiens face the Dallas Stars.